Welcome back, everyone. We are back for the grand finals, and it's the finals. I think probably everyone expected on the surface, but far from a smooth road here for Timeless getting here. I think one thing that was true yesterday, especially, was it yesterday? Yeah. Well, they had a really tight series against Left Right Good Night, and you can make a real argument they didn't look all that, and that they maybe looked a lot weaker than people expected. But then they came and played Primus Tornado in the grand finals and still gave them a really good game. So it's by no means over just because that one was close, but certainly a lot to prove for the Timeless boys on this one, and we needed to see a raising of the game.
Yeah, I completely agree because it did feel like, just watching back that Primus Tornado match, their macro, it seemed that little bit ahead. And I think, in the head-to-head skill matchup, I think these teams are incredibly close. But if I looked at that previous matchup, I would have said that it's a clear win for Timeless, just looking, player for player, pound for pound. So I think that there's clearly either, Wisp is the greatest macro team in all of North America, or Timeless are missing a little bit of something right now. They're a little bit short. And, maybe something is being a little bit overrated. Sugar free.
Yeah, it's really started to feel a problem for them. I would probably say out of both of these rosters, the weak spot is probably the May. Everyone else on probably a far more comfortable hero for the most part, or something you'd expect them to do or perform a lot higher on. So at the moment, it really feels just like Primus Tornado in the bag.
Yeah, but let's not call it too soon because the last time we tried to call, a timeless Swift win after 100-0, I mean, you know what happened. You saw how rough it got so quickly.
Well, speaking of that, it feels like we might actually get some Queen coming out here as well, with possibly a Genji.
I actually really like the look of this. I think that this is definitely a look that Hawk could lean into as much as possible. Sugarfree could lean into as much as possible. And seeing Sugarfree pick the Genji instead of the Tracer now, it's interesting because I just I don't know why he didn't do it versus Wisp. But now he's doing it, and I mean, I'm happy to see it. I'm really happy for it, because if they do more of this, I really think that they have a better chance of winning. Hawk was absolutely dominant on the Junker Queen, and I think that this really enables Seeker style of play, and RuPaul, he's got a really, really solid character. So I think this is good looks. Hawk hit the knife on Ultraviolet immediately. Like I said, Hawk insane at the Junker Queen, just spin botting with the knife straight out of the sky, catches Ultraviolet, sucks him in, and Sugarfree, every left click perfection tracking through the air. Just a free first fight win, although it is a really quick way to swap to Moira Reaper if you want to.
Yeah, if you wanted to do that, it's a really good way to do it. We saw Ex-Oblivion actually struggle into this in their upper bracket final. Lots of big problems dealing with the Coalescence, so we'll see how Timeless fare. And it's a split push actually. Ram on an angle.
Yeah, interesting Ram split push like that. Hawk in a little bit of trouble, but it does seem like he's managed to get out. Sugarfree also on the back foot, and I'm wondering how the contest is going to go now, because Sugarfree, he's blowing his deflect so early in these exchanges. It's really looking like he's just not juggling enough aggro. He's getting shot and he's just straight out, not contesting the point at all, putting Hawk in a very difficult position. And now RuPaul, he's trying to chase down OG, maybe get a trade kill at the end there. But honestly, a very easy retake for the side of the Tornado guys. And already Ultraviolet, he's got that Coalescence. He's going to come steaming in for the next fight.
One thing we saw in this matchup previously is when the Moira Reaper team has Coalescence, it's so hard for the Queen team to survive. And the Hawk's actually going to swap it onto Ram here, but the rest of the comp is sticking for now. So, bit of a mishmash of ideas right now as they come in against his Coalescence.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with this swap from Hawk. I think this is a bit of a throw, because I think it just makes things more difficult for Sugarfree. Like I said, so easy for Sugarfree to just take over, immediately gets the pick onto Sam. Coalescence from Ultraviolet, but perhaps a little bit too late. Sugarfree has the blade now, he does pull it, and immediately he's on top of Ultraviolet's head, and it's just looking like a cleanup now. Really, Kiriko Ultimate, Kitsune and Dragonblade invested there for the side of Timeless, but you've got to be happy with that. Sugarfree getting that magic pick onto Sam early on in the fight. Sam's been on May for this whole round, and he's only 60% on the Blizzard. He's really doing a whole lot of nothing.
A couple of fights now, we've just seen Sugarfree just line up, follow up on a knife, or just find that pick for himself. Now they're coming back with a hefty bank of ultimates here. Only the beat and overclock. Probably Seeker going to start in this one as they try and walk in. It just needs to survive the initial Russian wall. Oh!
Oh, quick pick onto Hydron. That is huge. It would be very bold for OG to answer back with a beat right now. And look at this. Seeker actually getting himself picked. He goes wide. He doesn't get the pocket from RuPaul. He doesn't get the pocket from Vega. He gets magic picked by a Reaper at long range. Terrible, terrible for Seeker. Now, actually on the back foot, he's swapping back. Oh no, he is over to the Sojourn again. But, you know, now Tornado, they have a good position, good chance at a retake. Hydron TPing into the back. He has the Blossom as well. He's TP'd onto RuPaul's head. RuPaul TPs straight away. Vega does have the beat drop. He might be able to keep Hawk in this, or will they just concede the cap? Annihilation thrown out. Hawk now pushing back in with Vega's beat drop, but neither DPS on the side of Timeless have received that beat, and down goes Sugar Free as a result. Now the spin from Hydron catches absolutely everybody, and it is just storm mode for Timeless.
Good patience from Hydron there. You can see Primis Tornado coming with a pretty clear idea of how they want the ult trade to go. They managed to force for Kiri out, force for beat out, then they set up Hydron for success. Now they've got Coalescence in the sex fight. Hawk has Ram ult, but obviously the pocket's a lot less with Kiri Lucio, so it might be hard for him to actually get anything done here. Has to avoid for Cole, has to avoid for Mayo. Really tricky one for Hawk to get value with.
Yeah. And now, you know, really, Hawk, he's just going to have to milk it and play slow, because now aggressive push from Ultraviolet. I think this is a pretty suspect Coalescence push, to be honest, especially now that they've managed to flip the point. Somehow, Tornado have wound up as the ones not on point. RuPaul throws down a Kitsune Rush on. Beat comes out from OG. Will it be enough? Is Hawk going to be fine to survive? It looks like he will. Blizzard comes down from Sam, catches absolutely nobody. Sugar Free in the backline going for the blade. He catches Sam. Annihilation comes out from Hawk as well, and now Sugar Free is going the distance, slashing away. All of American Tornado stuck inside. OG kiting in the wrong direction, caught by Sugar Free. Will he go down? Actually, he's just being pissed on constantly by Ultraviolet, but it's not enough because Sugar Free is cleaning up. Hawk pushing in all the way with the Annihilation, and just for a little victory lap, we've got Seeker's Overclock in the background.
As we always said, Ram Kiri Lucio was always the answer. Sets him up nicely, and it still feels like it should be so hard, right? Obviously, Hawk can get bullied a little bit less than he can on Queen, a bit more durable versus the Wall. But still limited healing, limits how many resources can put into Sugar Free. But I mean, I think a big part of it was just so many of those fights just start immediately in Timeless's favor. Then they win a couple of big ult fights, and before you know it, you've won a cough round.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you play Reaper as Hydron, you know, you're really relying on either a good TP or your whole team having a good fake or rotation in order for you to get quick value. But when you're Seeker, you're just farming up that rail constantly, and every couple of seconds you get the opportunity to get a fight-winning pick, and he has been delivering in that regard. Seeker getting these big picks, pick onto Ultraviolet early on in the fight, winning them something for free. Really good stuff from him. And honestly, now we're seeing a little bit of an American Tornado classic, the Sim May. Hydron, probably the best sim in the whole world. Really one of the best sims that you could possibly face, and this is such a classic matchup for American Tornado. They are so good at these sim main maps. All of these, Lijiang Night Market, Nepal Village, or High Rise, or whatever the fuck they call it in Overwatch 2. Really, this is bread and butter for American Tornado. This is probably their strongest matchup, because Hydron, once he gets that beam up, he knows exactly how to play it. He's not just pushing in mindlessly. He has perfect movement with the teleporter. You see the unlock comes through, and immediately Hydron puts his team down onto the point, and now they're setting up their new bunker. Instead of holding the choke, they're holding the point side. And then soon, Hydron is going to have another TP. He's going to be able to flip at any moment. And again, 60% on his ultimate already. Hydron, really, you can see he's getting so much value in this neutral. 25% for Seeker and Sugar Free, 70% for Hydron. This guy is a spam machine on Symmetra. There's at least a little bit of zest rolling through this guy's blood, that's for sure. Window comes out for RuPaul. All that spam comes at a cost. First tempo window, but no kill as a result. In fact, Kalush has managed to maintain the point. Not even sure that we're going to get a point flip from this. Vega on the back foot. Now RuPaul has to commit Lamp to keep Vega alive, so really a risky situation for the side of Timeless. Hawk pushing in, swinging like crazy, but now Hydron has the max charge beam. Sam throws out a Blizzard, catches absolutely nobody. Hawk is 1 health, and he actually does go down, so this is looking like a Tornado win. And because Tornado got that first cap, this is huge for them. This isn't a first fight win, this is like a third fight win.
Now they're going to get a few late kills as well. Seeker staggers targets for late kill on Hydron, but it won't be so bad. He can TP himself back, being there in time. Vega's taken the long way out. And they're actually really chasing Seeker. They're going to get their man. They got him. Really late kill. Can they get the flip here? Can OG touch? OG's going to touch.
They are going to get the flip, actually.
Coalescence now coming back, so they can probably take this right back. Obviously, remember, Seeker's a late death. Starting with just Coalescence now. Looking at Hawk, could probably do with looking at something a little bit more squishy, but Kaluj has got split, so we've had to pocket him now. Not the greatest Coalescence value. Now the Mail on point, Beaten will come through, but is it enough?
Can he tank it? Wow. Everyone frozen up by Sugar Free's ult, but Hydron's Sim Wall, it was so good, it splits everyone in two. Between OG's beat, everyone kept alive, and now Hawkey's answering back with the Annihilation, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Hydron goes down, RuPaul captured Sam, it's a 3v3. Seeker has the overclock rolling, he gets OG as well. RuPaul has the window if he really needs it. Hawk does not have a shift. Kaluj goes down to the Annihilation of Hawk, and it is a cleanup for the side of Timeless, and not a second too soon as well. That flip chasing out Seeker, so costly. That's 45% given up for one fight.
It was a huge mail by Sugar Free, actually. Even though they managed to survive it, it took everything for them to survive it, which meant eventually this Annihilation comes in late from Hawk, and he is able to clean it up. Big ult fight win. Little bit dry in the bank now for Primis Tornado. They're going to have to push and rotate into a window, but the Sim TP makes it so much easier. They come flying through onto the high ground. It's a really awkward fight now. Don't know if they're going to really find a chance as Vega who gets caught in the rotation. They get the window on point, and it's just DP'd by Primis Tornado.
It's a very lukewarm window from RuPaul there. Nothing caught. No wall from Sugar Free to match. And now they're again just going to be in storm mode. They've pissed away this window. They're not in storm mode. It's a 3 versus 3. RuPaul jumps up onto the high ground, catches Sam. Hawk runs down Hydron. It's a 2v2 now. Vega Hawk versus Ultraviolet Kaluj. Is that right? No, it's OG Kaluj. OG has the beat drop, but he can't get it off. And the Blizzard comes down for Sugar Free. And this could be the end of the round right here. Sam, he has the Blizzard coming back, but he's going to be so rushed. Hydron is going to have to TP him onto the point, or they're going to have to go separate sides. Vega can block the touch. He's so close to the beat drop. This final fight is going to be an absolute dog. And now, OG, he's coming back with the beat as well. Oh, it looks like Sam, he's not got the touch. OG does drop the beat for it, but the ults are bleeding out. No ultimates invested for Timeless yet. Sam runs in, throws down the Blizzard. He does not have the wall, so everyone is going to be just fine to kite out of this. Vega with the counter beat. Sugar Free pops out, and it is not looking good for the American Tornado boys now.
Annihilation on top to finish it, and it's just impossible because they had to use all their ults to touch. It's so difficult in these big ult fights there. They have to rush the beat to touch. They have to rush the mail afterwards, and it becomes too easy for Timeless. And actually, Timeless have now just 2-0'd Nepal and find themselves in the lead in this series.
Yeah, really some just huge misplays from the Tornado boys, taking them by surprise. That flip at 60% was absolutely unreal. They won the fight in dominant fashion after first, but they flipped because they didn't leave anyone point side and they overchased to their own spawn. Really just greedy stuff when your comp is bunkered on point and you have a TP to get back to it. So really that was probably the costly mistake that really it fed away the whole round at the end of the day. But you know, maybe these sim comps, they might also just be like a little bit outdated, to be honest. You know, it feels like Seeker, he's finding incredible value on the Sojourn.
It kind of puts you in the same position you get when you play the Moira Reaper version, is the Sojourn just becomes completely free. And the quality of Sojourn players at this level, if you give them opportunities, they're going to find picks. And we've seen it time and time again. And now you get the exact same problem. Obviously, Sim does have a little bit more counterplay in terms of you could Sim TP onto the Sojourn or a couple of you to clear the Sojourn. But a lot of the time, obviously, Hydron's using these TPs to start the fight or to initiate the rotate or to force point or to disengage an ult. So to also have it to mark the Sojourn as well is quite difficult, especially when the Sojourn can just slide away or slide to high ground as well. So I could see a real argument that actually just straight back to the BAP Sojourn mirror seems the most reasonable. I guess there's maybe a question as we go into the next map if we're going to see any more Queen comp come out as well from the Timeless side.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Queen comp, it has its merits, but at the end of the day, if you go to these hybrid maps, it might be a little bit difficult, you know, if you get caught needing to hold it down on the cart and you're not so great at kiting, which is, you know, definitely not the strength of Timeless, I think you might struggle on the Junker Queen a bit. I think, especially after winning on the Ramatra there, they've probably got a bit of renewed confidence that they can make it work.
Yeah, for sure. I think at this point as well, you're maybe just happy to stick with it as well on the basis that if it's working, keep doing it. In the Wisp series, it was obviously like, everything's going wrong, guys. We need to try something else. We maybe need to do something a little bit more off-meta or unexpected or try and catch them off guard. Here, in control at the moment, take the first map in the series. We'll go to King's Row, BAP Sojourn Mirror. And I think the big question for everyone on this side of the Pacific is, are they going to clear top right?
I have my doubts, mate. I have my doubts. Maybe S9mm has it, you know? The thing about S9mm is that he watches VODs. So, you know, he could have it.
A distinct advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty huge advantage when you're playing in the absolute apex of North American competition, and apparently only one team in the whole tournament can take top.
Well, it's a nice advantage to have. Nice little advantage to have. Not really seen a whole... Oh, go on.
No.
I was going to say, we've not really seen a whole lot of just straight Sojin versus Sojin matchup. I was having this conversation with Astro and Shockwave the other day about who you think has the Sojin edge in this matchup between Hydron and Seeker, because we'll probably see a lot more of it here on King's Row.
I would pick Seeker, I'd say. I think Seeker's probably just got a little bit maybe he doesn't have quite the same mechanical level as Hydron, but I think Seeker, he plays it a little bit smarter, to be honest. Hydron, you know, he does a lot of the aggressive, but I think like if you're gonna see someone getting their ult kited frequently on the side of Tornado, it's probably gonna be Hydron with these Sojin ults. Because I feel like watching their series back, he was often the one that was he kind of ults at the back of the map, where he takes a super huge risk to go for it, and then sacrifices a huge lot of downtime. Whereas I feel like Seeker, he's a little bit more subtle with the angles he takes. You know, if he's going to peek in from the side, he's going to bait a little bit before he does it. You know, he's patient.
I think we have seen as well, especially versus Chopper, it felt in that sort of mini game between the Sojins battling for angles, or even diving the other Sojin to clear the angle. It felt like Seeker was really a step ahead in a lot of those over Chopper, and I think the truth might be that Seeker is actually just a step ahead of most Sojins in that type of mini mind game type thing.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a case for Seeker as, you know, the strongest Sojin in North America at this point. You know, despite his humble origins on Los Angeles Valiant and Boston Uprising, I do think that he's had like pretty strong showings every time I see him matching these top hit scans in North America. And really, does it get any better than Hydron in NA? I don't think so. So, yeah, I think he's pretty much the top dog around here.
Yeah, I think that's really true. It'll be interesting to see Hawk versus Kaluge on the Ram as well. It felt like even though that map didn't go in their favour, there was still quite a few nice disengages from Primis Tornado, still clearly switched on to the macro and trying to play the smart game. It was just they got themselves in a couple of really difficult situations. When we played their series yesterday against... Was it yesterday against Timeless? How does time work? Who knows? It's not important. But when they played in that series, it really felt like there was a lot of key moments where they were just getting split in the mid-fight. Primus Tornado, that is. And that would have to be something they obviously, I imagine, they would have talked about. But it's something they need to fix here. Because if you start getting a little bit lost in the mid-fight, we've seen how long these fights go in the big ult fights, right? There's always going to be a pretty hefty mid-fight going on. So if you're not on the same page in these brawl comps, it can really start to fall apart for you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually dying to see whether someone takes the high ground here.
I'll lock my camera in. Surely someone
yeah,
will do it,
please
right?
do.
I mean, Seeker did clear it last time, right? Second time of asking. Him and Vega went on a little adventure. Just bullied out the Sojin.
Yep. Ah, boy, oh boy. I mean, at least, you know, Sugarfree is going to sit and spawn on Widow for a second, you know, go for a pot shot. But I see a statue hold. I see Tornado going for that same statue hold. Yesterday we saw Hydron on the replay, right?
Yeah, this was the map that went not so good for Primus Tornado when they played the May Reaper.
This was a bit of a flop for the Tornado boys.
Yeah.
It looks like they're actually going for the Junker Queen option. You were right.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, Ex Oblivion do play it here, so it's not impossible to play on this map by any means. Yeah. And again, well, asking a different question.
One implicit thing here is that they'll probably take top.
Genji Lucio is actually really good at clearing top right, so maybe it's just for a top right play, and then they'll go back to the other comp.
And there you go, now they have it, you know? If only they realised they could do this on around May as well by just using their legs and a little bit of
It's
time.
not possible.
But that's okay.
Don't spread that misinformation.
One more year of pro Overwatch and they will figure it out. RuPaul now having to TP, playing real safe. He got chipped down dangerously low. Seeker a bit low up on the high ground. Hawk committing sharp, pushing in, but Hawk is just getting absolutely face fucked by Kaluge there. Late Suzu as well from RuPaul, not keeping Hawk alive, but I don't think it would have made much of a difference, to be honest, because Hawk was playing it fast and loose with his life there, a little bit too aggressive. And this head-to-head is actually really difficult because Hawk, he just needs to be patient. He just needs to recognize that the only way he's going to win is through his Sojin Lucio angle, not through his own aggression aggression in main. His aggression in main is only possible if their DPS go wide, if their Sojourn or their BAP goes and takes a big risk. But Hawk just pushing up in main and trying to take this ego fight with Kaluj, that's not the way to go about it. I saw this same thing when Hawk was on the Sigma on Samoa yesterday, where even though Sigma, his whole job is to run away from the enemy tank, from the Ramatra, and just try to pressure squishies, Hawk was constantly taking the head-to-head with Kaluj. Hawk loves to deal for max damage all the time, but some matchups you need to avoid the enemy tank, and again you see Hawk, he walks forward, he starts brawling Kaluj before the rotation, and then he gets caught out in the open. No good whatsoever. Hawk really needs to recognize his role in this comp, help his team get onto the backline, or chill.
The thing is, they're getting all the space every single time, right? They're getting this top right area, they're getting control of the left side as well. Just give time for Seeker and Sugar Free to start picking them apart. Once you get stuffed in this back corner behind point, if you're the defensive team, it's really a horrible area to be in. You just get spammed from everywhere. You can just bleed them out. Hawk trying to play it a little bit too fast, but now a lot of ults coming back here.
Yeah. We'll see if they can get value now. Knife onto Kaluj again, just catching Hawk. But Hawk already, he's had to use the shout. He's half health. Sojourn ult's invested on both sides. Let's see if either overclock actually finds any value. Sugar Free just sneaking in from behind. He might try and drop in on somebody's head. Perhaps go for the blade. He's been poked by Sam, so he is going to have to drop into main. Beat comes out from Vega, catches absolutely everybody. Very nice beat. You can tell that Sugar Free is thinking about this blade. Hawk has popped the Rampage. It has caught Hydron, but pretty lukewarm ultimates across the board. No kills from the Rampage, no kills from the Blade. Blade and Rampage overlaid too closely with the beat, and now Hawk has gone down in the backline again. This is looking really rough now for the side of Timeless. I wonder if we're going to see a comp swap.
Maybe. They've run out of all the ultimates there, and I think you're exactly right. There was not an element of patience here. It's you use one ult to force the other, then use another one to finish. We do get the Ram and May coming out now, so I think you're right about the comp swap. But they were just too quick. They were too quick to use all the ults. They had them exactly where they wanted them. Just use an ult. Eventually you'll win the layer fight. But now they have to take a fight with no ults versus a window and May ult. It's going to be so hard. Oh, they used both ults actually here, Primus Tornado.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess that's the only small victory that you can claim if you're Timeless, because if Primus Tornado played the clock a little bit more, they could have made this borderline last fight and just leveraged their ult advantage like crazy, but instead they fight forward, they use the window, they use the blizzard, and now Seeker's actually going to have that overclock. Sugar Free is coming up on the blizzard as well. Seeker has a great angle and Sugar Free actually takes down Sam.
Taking the high ground here, Seeker's going to lean top right. He can now pop it. Overclock pop. Hydron does have He's to re-peak with here if they want to go for it.
I think they're going to go for it. We're going to see mirrored overclocks here for sure.
Going to keep going. Here we go. Pops it. Looking for the space on the high ground. Doesn't find anything. Goes for the May instead. OG finishes it for him. Now they've got the opening pick. They can eat the way back on point. One more rail for Hydron. He's thinking about finding the swing. He's got RuPaul in his sights. RuPaul lamps just out of respect there. Doesn't want to
so close to the window. He's going to throw it down, surely. Now Hawk with this Seeker takes down Sam. Beat comes out from OG. Sugar Free is just coming back from spawn now with the Blizzard. Surely he's going to be able to throw it down if it gets too dicey. Sugar Free is here in the fight. Kaluj is in the back line. No cooldowns to speak of. And it is looking like it's going to be a first cap for the side of Timeless. But God, they had to fight tooth and nail for it. And really, you can see the lack of understanding coming through when they play these different matchups. They go to the Junker Queen matchups and you can see their macro. It's weak. They're ult layering. Weak. Rushed. And then they go over to the Ram comp and they just win the mechanical brawl. But really, it's Seeker time and time again bailing these guys out. If he can take the angle, he will. And he will get value if you give him time.
Really nice timing as well. We talked about it before, but now Seeker saved his last rail for that window after his overclock. So they're able to pop it immediately. He gets that pick to turn it in their favor. So even without Sugar Free, they're able to leverage it on their point. Now it's UV coming back with a window of its own. So it should give a chance for Primus Tornado just to get some breathing room here. Annihilation's just around the corner as well. Beat advantage for Vega.
Yeah, not too shabby now. We've got Vega and Hawk both sitting on their ultimates, just waiting it out, seeing if they can work the neutral a little bit. Kaluj gets his shift force. He still has the Annihilation in the back pocket. Ultraviolet, snared, but it doesn't matter because RuPaul swings into the window, gets caught by Hydron's one-shot. And now Hawk is fighting in the corner. I thought for a second there he might throw down the Annihilation and try and take down Ultraviolet, but instead we're just going to have a totally dry fight from the side of Timeless, and a strange time to be dry fighting.
Yeah, you want to do that really in situations where you get 2 or 3 ultimates out and you can come back with a big advantage, but just losing to a window, Primus Tornado are actually going to be really happy with that. Now we're going to get the big ult fight, and there is window advantage for RuPaul. Vega's still ahead on B, 30% more to go for OG, so they should have advantage in this fight, but it's a complicated one to win still, and Primis don't have space to disengage one into.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see this taken quite slowly if we want to see Timeless win because of this May wall here. Oh, aggressive Sojourn ult coming out from Hydra, and I think Seeker as well might have popped it, but has gone down. So now, basically, 4 ultimates on the board for the next fight for Timeless, and a quick cleanup. RuPaul getting staggered a little bit too. This is disastrous with only 30 seconds left on the clock.
Seeker wanted to take a really aggressive angle with his Sojourn ult, but Hydron just meets it and gets the better of him on this occasion. Really important fight for his team to win. It's last fight no matter what, and it's going to be an ugly touch. You have 4 ults coming back, but they can make it hard for you on the walk up here, so you might even have to pop a window just to get the touch.
Yeah, the touch is going to be hideous, and this is an insane position for a Blizzard. Really difficult to kite it here. Oh, Sam actually going for the aggressive Blizzard. I think a very questionable decision, because now Tornado, they have not stopped the touch, and they have committed very heavily to fighting forward. Hawk with the Annihilation, he's going to be doing juicy damage. Oh, Seeker and RuPaul, though, they do go down. Will Hawk get anything with this Annihilation? His Annihilation is actually ended, but with no BAP heals, Hawk is in a world of pain. We need to catch this Sojourn out on the cart. Hydron is doing so much, and it's not looking like Timeless have any chance at taking this. Hawk just trying to juggle the touch back and forth, and there is no such luck. The forward fight from Sam paying off, even if it wasn't the greatest.
We've talked about it a bit before about how using these mails early can be really difficult because everyone just has their cooldowns to live it, and we kind of saw the same thing there where the window and everything comes through to bail Hawk out of the situation, but it just forced them to trade the ults early at least, and they are able to come out on top. But honestly, the big problem was first point, and well, I guess kind of second point as well. But other than first point and second point, it was probably fine from Timeless.
Yeah, just with Timeless, 2 fights in a row there on the second point where they basically didn't ult. Well, they had a big ult bank, and one fight they used nothing, the next they used only the Sojourn ult. Felt like there was an absence of commitment there, and then they saved it all for the final fight, which is just this scuffed rush touch where they got fought forward and they had too much pressure on them.
Really great chance now if you're Primus Tornado to tie up this series. King's Row is actually, of all the hybrids and escorts, probably one of the easiest ones to full cap, so having to just get it round, a couple of corners on second? Got to feel really good about that. Just got to avoid getting stuck on this difficult first point here. We saw Timeless really make a meal of it. Obviously, they had to comp swap in the end to get through, but it should be easier in a straight ram mirror, especially if then your queen can't die immediately in every fight.
Yeah. I would say that it's honestly looking like, Tornado, once again, they do have a little bit of an edge in this mirror. It seems like they're just constantly getting a little bit more value. But, that first point, they really did make a meal of it on the side of Timeless. So I guess, if you didn't have a 4-minute first point hold with a bunch of ults that don't carry over, then, maybe something would be a little better for them. Right now, again, the same statue hold, the same absence of a high ground take. I don't know what's going on in North American Overwatch. I will never get it. But, you do you, fellas.
You know how they say dogs can't look up? That's the end of the joke.
I'll pay that. Alright, now Seeker getting a little bit aggressive. OG trying to contest up on the high ground, but he's always lonesome, getting shot really low by Seeker, but not going down. Hawk stuck inside the statue, but Seeker again just re-peeking straight away, getting that nice double angle onto Kaluj. He's going to charge his rail, and then, no such luck, unfortunately. OG keeps taking this left-hand side, harassing, but Kaluj now pushing up, forcing Sugar Free very far back. And where is Hawk? Hawk's actually retaking top.
Yeah, going to be able to get back in here now. OG still pressuring, playing with fire though, but here comes Hydron to help force him through. Will push Seeker all the way back.
Massive boot from Vega.
High ground. We'll be able to stabilize a little bit here. Hawk just holding. Kalu just tiptoeing his way onto point, just trying to force a couple of ticks out. Hawk will have to come and match him. Sam is now on the high ground, but it's an aggressive window from RuPaul. They've taken all the space. It's a window back, but it's a horrible position
Hawk's in trouble.
Oh, the beat's going to be committed.
Hawk stuck on the hotel side, getting pincered. It's a 4 vs 4 right now. Seeker, he does take down Hydron with the overclock, but soon we're going to need a touch. Sugar Free actually getting the touch, getting the ice block out of Sam. Will he invest the Blizzard, or is he just going to go for the neutral? I think he's just going to go for the win neutral. RuPaul has gone down with his life, though, so now it's looking really rough, and Sugar Free is probably regretting not investing that Blizzard at this point, because now the first point hold has just crumbled. I have no idea how RuPaul has been taken down. There was so much happening on the point. Hydron was already dead. Was that OG?
Yeah, because it looked like a really perfect opening, a really aggressive swing with window, everything going their direction, and then they're just able to dogfight their way all the way back onto point. And now 4.5 minutes. Look how close the checkbox is. This is going to be such a difficult situation. Timeless have to win what, 5 fights in a row, maybe?
Yeah, Tyler's going to have to do a whole lot of winning. And this touch is going to be so tough already. This is one fight, no doubt. If even one fight goes the way of American Tornado, it is going to be the end of days. Sugarfree has the Blizzard. Perhaps he should just play slow. He should just try and play to counter Blizzard at this point, because things are looking so rough for them. Hawk, he's up there. He's already walled. He's caught in the Blizzard. Lenny throws out a nice counter Blizzard, and that does catch a lot of people. Kaluj actually runs through it. Kaluj not caught by the counter Blizzard. Sugarfree, no ice block in main. Hawk 96% on the Annihilation. Vega throws down the beat, but it's not particularly good. Hawk does get the Annihilation up, but Seeker is the one taken down. So things are looking really bad for Timeless Heads right now. RuPaul has the window, throws it down, but it is just too late. A second beat for OG, lapping Vega.
Yeah, just had too many ults there at the end, and if you're in a fight where you can't disengage anymore or cheat any ults because cap is in play, you're able to just force it over there, and that's exactly what they did there. Really, it's that messy first point situation that made it unwinnable for Timeless. As we get a Vega play of the game. He's doing stuff. He's doing stuff. He's got him.
Oh yeah, no, he's all over it at the moment.
But yeah, tied up 1-1, and I guess we really don't have, even 2 maps in now, we really don't have the clearest picture of who's ahead in the mirror because people have been swapping and trying different things so much. But now we go on to Flashpoint. Obviously, probably one of the better maps for a Queen type comp. But also the Ram Sojourn May hasn't felt unwinnable by any means for Timeless.
Sorry, mate, just 1 second. It was looking on the first map like, perhaps there was an edge for Timeless, but you got to bear in mind that on the first map it was not a mirror. It was just a constant state of counter comping. Meanwhile, once we get an actual mirror here on King's Row, it's looking a lot less even. It's looking like, the same old problems that are plaguing Timeless time and time again. Pretty limited ult value, rushed neutrals where even if they get the positional advantage, they just keep over pushing. They have no patience. And then sometimes in these dogfights, I don't even know what's happening. To be honest, they're just falling by the wayside. It feels like even when everything goes right, someone is on the wrong page. They're all fighting with a window swing, and Hawk is getting double angles screwed somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And then it's a 3v3, and nobody's investing their ultimates. It's just slipping through their fingers.
It's strange, isn't it? Because a lot of these fights, it feels like it's over, but then it just descends into a lot of chaos and a big dogfight. And more often than not, it seems like Primis Tornado are coming out on top of those. But it's really hard to get a read on exactly, all the situations are so different, right? Exactly why it's happening or how it's happening. But famous in Tornado so far. But I don't know if I really feel comfortable if I'm either team right now.
Yeah. To be honest, I feel like, Tornado, they might have just a little bit of momentum, but I feel like nobody can be confident in this series, A 2-0 on Koth into, not a particularly competitive King's Row, but, there's a lot left in the series. And I think we're going to see Timeless try to force more of this Junker Queen matchup. I think after what they've had on the new Queen Street, after what they've had on the first map, they've got to be feeling like this is their saving grace. So anywhere where they can make it a bit of a brawl, I feel like they are going to try and force the Junker Queen comp. I'm not sure whether they'll do it on Flashpoint, though.
It's really possible, especially because obviously they get map pick, and you can maybe make a pretty good argument that Suravasa's probably a little bit nicer for it in a lot of ways. Less oppressive chokes on a good amount of the points. And the first point, probably quite a nice one for it too. But, I don't know, it's a big call. And also, in general, it's a comp they've obviously not really played as much, right? Probably all their scrims would have been very much Ram-centric scrims. So to pull it out on a map you're not as familiar with, I don't know. And it seems as well, Hawk doesn't actually feel like he believes Queen is the right pick in that version of a comp either. He feels like he doesn't really want to play the Queen and doesn't have the same feel or understanding for it as say when we watch Haddy play it in Europe.
They've picked New Junk City, so there goes your Suravasa theory. But I think Suravasa is an extremely good map for Genji. stuff. I think that it's weaker for the Mei, and I think that really benefits what Timeless are trying to do. I think that there's long fights, but there are long fights with flanks. So I think that they're definitely going to go down the Junker Queen route, having seen this new Junk City pick. And let's see if they can make it work, because Hawkeye's really been struggling with the Mei walls of the enemy team in this matchup. So every time he's on the Queen, he's really got to struggle versus the Mei.
It's all about playing a baity style, and we've seen this a bit on Hawk's Ram as well, where he likes to be the aggressor. He likes to be very happy to take these trades and try and play first tempo and very aggressive. But with this Queen style, and you'll see this when Ex-Oblivion play, it's really slow, it's really baity. Hadi will play almost exclusively just to fish for knives, don't get walled, give space for our Lucio Genji or our Sojin to find some kind of opening, just try and bleed away space, get what cooldowns we can, and then at a certain point we get enough cooldowns we can use a shout advantage, or if we have to use it defensively, it's okay, let's just go back to playing it slow. But it's not the same level of refinement in Timeless's play. So Hawk is just he's going in, he's having to get heavy shout forced, he's getting walled, and then he is just dying, and he doesn't give enough time for his DPS if he goes down that quickly.
It feels that, it is very much a one-layer fight with Timeless. Hawk is in, and then he's in. And, that's either they win or lose on that. Because, not so often are we seeing a second set of cooldowns coming out in these fights,
Exactly, and I think as well, because they clearly have the right players for it. Because one thing you need to do if you're going to play in a slow baity style on Queen and play for your DPS is you need your DPS to do something. You need your Genji to take a lot of aggressive space to find a nice angle to harass from. You need your Sojin to be playing quite aggressively to farm rail, put them under more pressure to try and have that high kill threat when you actually eventually find your timing. But Sugar Freeze looked really good on the Genji. Seekers look really good on the Sojin. They have all the right ingredients. It's just the style from Hawk that's been a little bit lacking so far.
Yeah, I think the reality is, these macro plays, it's a team effort, and people need to have like an overall understanding of how to play the style. And I feel like, really, we're just seeing like non-stop struggle from Hawk because he's always committing a little too much.
It's a shame as well, because obviously, in terms of being actually good at the hero, in terms of can I hit my abilities, can I hit my shots, he certainly has all of that. It's also probably the sort of thing, I wouldn't be surprised if it took Ex-Oblivion a while to really get this style down, against the Ram comp and a few trial and error type situations, which obviously Timeless have not had.
Yeah, and this is also, this is well and truly, this is Hardy's bread and butter, Like, if Ex-Oblivion are going to play that style, it's really heavily reliant on Hardy leading the charge from the front and having a really strong understanding of how he wants to push and pull in these fights. If you replaced Hardy with anyone else on that team, I really struggle to believe that you would see the same results in these comps, because these comps are hard, and they require a lot of leadership and a lot of really quick decision-making about the push and pull. And Hardy, he's excellent with that, but there's not a lot of players that can do that. Players that are a little bit stronger on Junker Queen or Ram, they're probably stronger more so for their mechanical reasons rather than their ability to push and pull in the fights. I think Hardy's probably the best rush tank in the game.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. In terms of understanding and being able to get the team to play around him and do the right things at the right time, I think there's really none better. And it looks like we are going to get more of that Queen matchup. So a lot of attention going to be put on Hawk here. Can he find enough space? This first point, in theory, is actually really nice. It's so wide and open. You just keep doing a little bit of a ring around the roses. Keep yourself away from that Mei wall timing.
Yeah, no, I guess it's really is all eyes on Hawk, but at the same time, keep your eye on Sugar Free too, because it's actually a big part of his job to fight aggressively on the side and actually draw some aggro. I noticed in that first round, when the enemy team was retaking on the Lucio Moira, Sugar Free too passive, blowing his deflect at full health, dashing back 180 health, really passive stuff, which basically just leaves Hawk out to dry. If you can't draw some aggro, you can't play these comps. You need to have someone who's willing to take a little bit of risk on the side, and they're not a great start. Already, Timeless, they've had to force the cleanse out. Not entirely sure what's forced that out from RuPaul. At least Sugar Free is able to step up and contest the point a little bit, and now you see the push coming in. Hawk presses the shout, but already you see the problem here. Hawk is swinging on Kaluge. You can't take the tank fight and expect to win this matchup. If you can't close the gap onto something like the BAP, the Sojin, the Mei, you are not going to win this matchup. So seeing the Ram catching the axe, already not a good start for the side of Timeless.
After that, it just becomes deal with the existing threats, right? Everyone stay together, feel for each other, don't let anyone trade or anything crazy happen. So really straightforward fight for Primis Tornado here, and Hawk will be sticking between here. And again, really like to see a slower fight. Obviously, this choke is actually a really difficult one to retake from. Often you'll see teams force point through lower first, then come up the staircase, which I think might be what they're doing now, just to try and give themselves a bit of space. Or maybe it's just a fake to come back through top.
Hydron get caught here. He's overstayed quite a lot. Sam gets caught by the knife, but no consequence. Nice little shield from Kalush keeps him up nice and healthy. And we're just back to basically a first fight style neutral. But we do have the Kitsune Rush now. Window goes down. Vega manages to kite away from that. Kitsune Rush is over the window, but no push from the side of Timeless. Timeless actually dropping down to the point, very nearly getting the cap. Sugar Free just a sliver of health. He needs to be topped up right away. Cleanse has been used by RuPaul, but still lots of counter ults to play with. Shout comes out and beat drop. And Sugar Free actually catching Hydron.
OG manages to get the beat off, but he's being chased, but Sugar Free can't get over the lip of the point. They're fighting on point now, but this Annihilation is going to do so much work. I think it's over for this first point here. Desperately trying to trade out, but once he gets to that final have to touch fight, and there's a round with Annihilation on point, he's just going to eat everyone up, and that's exactly what they do. Strong first point for Primis Tornado, but did have to use more ults for it. Rampage, Overclock coming back now for Timeless.
Yeah, you can see Hawk this time around, he was really struggling on that first point. Probably the best May point of the lot, so perhaps a little bit understandable for Hawk to be struggling there. But no Rampage after a full Koth point, that is a bit of a stinker, to be honest. Because now, you know, he will be looking really good for this next one. I think it'll be almost impossible for his ult to look bad, going into no defensive ult, no cleanse. But we'll see if he's able to find value. I sincerely hope he is. Seeker actually opening the fight with his ultimate and taking down OG really early. So if they're lucky, they might be able to hold on to the Junker Queen ult. But Sugar Free's actually gone down. Sugar Free's been traded and the point has been conceded because there's no Genji to contest. So I think Hawk's absolutely going to need to use this Rampage here. And you can see again, he's just stuck fighting the head-to-head with Kalush, which I will say I'm getting increasingly critical of the more I watch Hawk play. Hawk sees the angle for the ultimate, catches only Kalush and Sam still has the Ice Block, so that's not a very good Junker Queen ultimate whatsoever. Really not getting much value with the Rampage. Looking like more of a Rhino Rampage at this point. And now, Ultraviolet is the one that has the ultimate. If Ultraviolet throws down the window, perhaps RuPaul will be able to throw down the Kitsune Rush, but Vega goes down the second the window goes up. Americans, they're fantastic at doing these 3-2-1 window plus rail combinations, and Vega is getting caught out by it just as much as OG.
Good finish to the fight there, just in time as well, a few more percent, and we've got Kirio and B online for Vega, and then real chance to make that a bigger fight. When you can close out a fight just like with just window for that, gotta feel good about it. And now we see Cork swap onto the Ram. Clearly doesn't feel comfortable playing the Queen into it, can't seem to find a way around trading on this Ram. So they're gonna come back, limited healing now in this comp, and they've got to push into a Mayo.
Yeah, it's looking really dire for Hawk and the Junker Queen, so I think it's good of him to swap. Terrible death from RuPaul there, though. Just an absolute disaster. That's going to make this point a complete wash. And now Sugar Free's going to be stuck on the Genji, too. There's no wipe in turn. So Sugar Free's probably going to cling onto the Genji into a beat and a Blizzard, just because, you know, I don't want to ditch the blade. I need to stay this. And if they don't, if he swaps to Mei, then he might not even see a Mei ult for the rest of the fight, for the rest of the map.
Yeah, really on the ropes now for Timeless. They have to try and find a way to make this work. It's a big layered ult fight, beats for both teams. Sugar Free has the blade, which might just be a use it to force beat type thing, but they've got to avoid the Mei ult as they come in. They've got to avoid the Annihilation as they come in. Sugar Free just has to trade his ult for one of their ults and not get traded on the way out.
RuPaul again, the wide swing, getting his cleanse forced very early on. There's no cleanse now in place for Sam's Blizzard. Sam is probably raring to go with that. Hawk trapped in a corner. Vega going for the counter beat, but Hawk is still in trouble. The Kitsune Rush keeping Hawk alive just, and a second cleanse to finally keep Hawk up. Sugar Free still has the blade, but OG has the beat to counter back. Kalush has popped the Annihilation and has gotten absolutely no value. Now Sugar Free just slithering on in from the side. Randy Orton-like. OG's going to have that counter beat though. Out comes the counter beat. And now we can see Sugar Free just playing really slow, but in turn, Hydron gets a pick with the Overclock. Kalush takes down Hawk. Seeker has answered back with his own Overclock, but it's still a 3 versus 4. And now Tornado are just dealing it away.
they traded the ults okay, but that cleanse that was forced so early from RuPaul put him in such a pickle. They then have to use both support ults to pocket Hawk through the entire thing, and then they're just left down from that. They trade for Beat for the Blade, which is, yeah, it's a fine trade, but because they use both support ults, they just kind of ran out of steam. Seeker tried to make the big play, couldn't do it. Now we're just back on the mirror. 2.5 rounds down though in this map, and it's just Annihilation walking into window, and we've seen Hawk struggle with these ones before.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely a story we've seen many times before where Hawk, if he has the option to push over the window instead of kiting it back, he will always go to push over it, and it never seems to be working out for him. So let's see if we can bait out a window from Ultraviolet here before the Annihilation and then get a kite going. Here comes the window. Hopefully Hawk can kite it out, but again, Hydron, he's so good at getting these rail body shots through the window. Hawk has to pop the Annihilation. He's so low. Pushing Hydron on the flank there. He actually gets Hydron, but he is so slow to be topped up right now. He's probably not going to be able to aggress anymore. He has a second shift, actually, so he might be able to get something done. But Vega, Turbo Cancer Gap by OG, taken off the map on the edge in the final fight. RuPaul does have the window. Hawk, RuPaul might actually be dead, so Hawk is looking like he's not even going to be able to touch the point.
That's just it as well. Dominant from Primis Tornado, and I think that if I'm timeless, that probably really spells the end of the Queen Dream.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Queen Dream, the potential is there, but the understanding simply is not. There is the same problem that is plaguing Hawk in these Ramatra mirrors. Oh wow, Ultraviolet kind of going off there. Doesn't look like the kind of guy who gets 6x'd by Landon and that, but there's quite some nice shots that I've just witnessed there. Yeah, the same problems that have been plaguing Hawk in the Ram mirror have also been plaguing him in the Queen, where he's just too front focused. He's never able to find his timing to get past the Ramatra, and especially on Junker Queen, it's doubly as important because you need to avoid the tank v tank matchup. Otherwise, you are going to get farmed.
We often talked about it a lot in London last year, having a certain comps, or as if you don't win the tank v tank trade for whatever reason, you want to always just play opposite side of their tank and find this additional space. And it's easier on some tanks than others, especially if it's ground tank versus ground tank. It can be a little bit tricky. But you need to find a way past that tank trade. Otherwise, you're just stuck in this sort of eternal battle that you're just slowly but steadily losing over time. And you're not getting full value out of your kit. You're having to play defensive on all of them. And you just get stuck in this horrible position. And then if you're ever in a flashpoint situation and you have to hard swap comp, you're going to be in such an alt hole. And it's very easy to just have the map get away from you then in terms of points. So Timeless certainly seem to be between ideas right now in terms of what they want to do, but it is escort. So if there's a place to mix it up, this is the place to mix it up, right? We could even just go Dorado and get a completely different type of matchup.
The thing is, Dorado is actually not the greatest of picks because I was saying that, Timeless, they're a fantastic dive team, but they're a good Doom dive team. And Winston is just so dominant in the mirror, especially on Dorado. So I really think that, Timeless are in an awkward position with their picks because it feels like they're losing the mirror on Ram, but there's no way to force the dive mirror that they want. Because Winston now, with these big buffs, it's so hard to justify ever picking Doomfist unless you're countering like a Bastion comp, something like that. If you're countering Bastion and Sigma, sure, it makes sense to go Doom. But if you're just fucking picking Doomfist on Dorado, you're just going to get farmed by a monkey. So really, I think Timeless, there's no good pick for them. They might actually just wind up picking another Rush Mirror Escort and trying to adjust their style in Rush. Oh, nope, they have gone Dorado.
It's getting divey then. So it's an interesting question you raise because Doom is Hawk's Doom versus Winston. The gap is so unbelievably big in terms of how good his Doom is and how mid his Winston is. He only played it very rarely in Overwatch League this season before last, not with any huge success. Obviously, you can make the same argument that Kaluge isn't maybe gods of Winston here and not the highest standard. And could
Kaluge might not be gods of Winston, but Hawk is probably the worst Western Winston in Overwatch League. Like he really just did not get the opportunity to practice that, and he was really low level on it to begin with. I would say if you're playing Hawk on this map, you're playing the guy on D.Va or Doom, no question.
I guess D.Va's the other option actually.
D.Va too, yeah.
If Kaluge wants to Winston and you just D.Va, you actually probably feel okay about. You could just almost do an Anna Brig, Tracer Sojourn, or Tracer Widow type comp, and then just have a D.Va instead of a Winston, and then you can make an argument it's not optimal, but we've seen Hawk get value on D.Va in these Winston type metas plenty of times in Overwatch League where you could make the same type of argument,
Yeah, and I think now we're getting into some much more interesting matchups because I imagine Sam is probably going to play Echo here, at least for at least for portions of the map. Because Sam, he's a little bit limited with his hero pool, so probably Echo is the way to go for him. He doesn't have a very strong tracer, so I would imagine that they're just going to keep him on Echo, maybe put him on something dodgy like Hanzo. You very rarely see D.Va picked in matches nowadays, but I think this isn't actually a problem of D.Va being weak. This is a problem of everyone being really bad at D.Va. One thing Hawk is not is bad at D.Va. Hawk is genuinely probably the best aggressive D.Va in the whole world. I would go as far as to say that he's probably the strongest D.Va in the whole world at this point because nobody practices that shit anymore, and he's absolutely fucking ballistic at it. 2-3 years ago he was like in this tier with like Hanbin of aggressive D.Va play. He was getting gapped by Void because Void would turn around and press right click, but that era of D.Va is gone. Now aggression is rewarded in Overwatch 2, and that is all Hawk is good for. So Hawk's D.Va is really fantastic. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see that come out. And if we were seeing D.Va v Monkey on this map, I would probably back Timeless again because I think RuPaul's got a much better honor than Ultraviolet. RuPaul's got a really strong honor. And then the Brig matchup, Vega v OG. I mean, this is just it's Brig. Who fucking cares?
Might see a lot of backline trades if that's the situation, but that's okay. I think you're right. I think especially as well, you talk about the D.Va v Winston matchup, and while it might be true if even if you can make an argument that Winston is better in some of these situations, well, but only if a Winston's good, right? There's a certain skill level on a hero where it just matters that you're better at the hero than if the hero's the right pick or not. And I could really see an argument that that is true in terms of Hawk's D.Va versus, say, Kaluja's Winston. And the DPS as well, what do you think? Do you think Hydron will play Tracer, or do you think they'll just do like Sojin Echo?
I think Sojin is really, really weak on this map, so I don't think we're going to see Sojin at all, to be honest. I think, it's probably like Widow, Echo, Tracer. Maybe you see like a little bit of Sojin on like the third point or something like that, but I don't think Sojin is very good on this map, so I would be surprised if we saw Sojin.
There's the Florida style comp, right, where you play BAP, Brig, D.Va, Echo, Widow. That Florida have used quite a lot on this map as their sort of attack and defense strategy because it's just a very sturdy comp that can stand on point and be quite hard to dive and just give your Widow space to slowly but surely ease your way out. Oh wow, it might actually could even be a D.Va mirror, I guess. Really,
it might actually be a D.Va mirror, and we might even see Echo. I mean, I guess because Seeker isn't super confident on Tracer, Seeker might actually be the limiting factor here a little bit, where it's like Seeker's going to have to go Widow, and I'm not sure how confident Seeker is on the Widow compared to Hydron. Hydron is someone who's definitely very comfortable at gapping flex DPS players on Widow, and Seeker, I feel like I don't see all that much of his Widow that nowadays, but we'll see. Hawk needs to get off that hero though.
You're not on the Sigma Bat Brig train right now. I mean, it's less bad versus the D.Va than it is versus the Winston version, at least.
Wait, they're actually doing it? I thought this was a joke.
Looks like the joke's
no
on
way.
You.
Nah, it's a joke. It is a joke.
Oh, Seeker's back on
Seeker,
Widow.
the Widow that I was telling you about, high caliber Widow, like I was saying, best Widow in the lobby by far, takes down Sam immediately. Sam just flying for nothing. And now I see this matchup and I think, no way Tornado wins this one, to be honest. I think, that unless Hydron has the game of his life, I think that there's a lot of people getting gapped right now 1-to-1 in their roles. So I would be really interested to see Hydron.
He's good for two.
Now that I'm saying something like this, immediately Tornado is just going to sweep the map, Like, they're just going to take over. Hydron, he's 2-0 now. So it's just going to keep rolling and rolling now. Now that I've fucking said it, it's over.
Well, we've seen Hydron have good performances on Widow before, back for Toronto as well, think back to play-ins, and good for 2 and the only one here. And Sam's actually back on Genji, which isn't actually the worst on this map. Obviously, he can traverse the high ground a little bit better, even if he's not as good as forcing and contesting cart. But he should be alright for now, and this might just be a slow, eternal D.Va trade while we wait for Widows to make space for each other and find a pick.
Yeah, Hawk's actually caught an anti-heal and fed his brains out up on the high ground. So, I was talking about, Hawk, greatest D.Va ever to live. And there he goes, immediately delivering by feeding his brains out for me on broadcast, making me look like a damn fool for having faith in him. And now we can see that the Tornado boys, they're just so comfortable with this hold. Sam, the swap over to Genji, it seems to have done decently for him. But Hydron is just in a league of his own on this Widow. What's he got? 3-4 final blows on Squishy so far. Really just taken over.
Yeah, and if your Widow can just lock down this angle, it can be so hard to break. Without a Winston, it is a lot harder to shut down these Widow angles, and that gives him a little bit more space. That's why we maybe see Hawk trying to make these aggressive plays, but oh, he's on top again, Matt. Sleeping Tracer behind.
Jeez, here he goes, one more. Hydron, he's having a game of his life. This is a hot, like, momentum player, and he's had enough dopamine from those headshots that he is just going to keep on taking over from this point. I can feel it now. I bet Hydron is probably screaming to his stream viewers right now. He's probably feeling it, because this is actually unbelievable. Just an endless string of headshots coming out for him, and you would not be confident if you're a timeless player. You can't even break the first corner in 2 minutes.
And with this comp as well, the ults aren't super great for breaking it. Like, you can dive with a maybe Nano Diva, but they're going to have the rally for it as well. Walls are traded, which is just going to slow the game down even more now. Playing with his life a little bit there, Vega. They're still trying to force this cart. They will nade and clear Kaluj. Kaluj is one. They keep him in mech. They keep Kaluj in mech, and he's able to start contesting again. Nano Hawk, though.
Oh, Nano Blade for a Nano Diva. It's looking like the Nano Blade is finding a little bit more value right now. Vega, no rally to be seen, and Hawk, a late death, another stagger.
When this is the problem with the comp from Timeless as well, is there's no real get out of jail ults here. There's not even like an Echo copy or something that you could get a lot of value with, like maybe do like a double Diva dive or something. You've got very limited aggressive ults. You can't really use the Pulse Bomb, or sorry, the Self-Destruct for it, in the same way you can Primal. So they're kind of reliant on Seeker, but so far it's just been the Hydron show. And now we're back in a neutral. You have rally advantage, but how do you even really get true rally advantage value in this type of situation?
Yeah, it feels like they have to try and play for a flip or something at this stage. But, you know, now that Seeker's gone back, they definitely can get something going. They take top left, but the rally has been popped, and we're not seeing a whole lot of value for it. Hawk going for a nice little, you know, aggressive Poco-type bomb up in the high ground, catches Ultraviolet, but immediately Hydron snaps back and takes out RuPaul. So we're dead even yet again, and Hydron really is the star of the show on this map, just constantly finding value for his team, really solo carrying. Now, hooks up to the high ground again. Will he find anything? It seems like he's once again just going to duel Seeker, but nobody emerges the victor right now. It is overtime, though. We're already at the end of the attack.
Seeker hits a body shot there, but Hydron's able to live, so they do get a brief respite as they can go in. Sugarfree does have a Pulse Bomb, has to try and thread it through, but also has to stick to point. Seeker finds a kill. It's been a while since we've seen that, but finds it maybe at just the right time. Kaluj is forced out of mech. Still, sniper shots going everywhere. Pulse Bomb just to get him out of mech again. Now they have Diva advantage on point. Surely this is Timeless's moment to force it into the cap here.
I can't believe Hawk won't contest this Widow. Hydron's just been up on the high ground free shooting for so long, and I just see Hawk brawling on the ground. Like, good grief, man. Get your ass up there. Save your boys. Hydron is just posted up, shot after shot after shot. If ever there was a time to choke for Hydron, it was then.
All it takes is one. Hydron certainly got more kills on that first point, but Seeker finds that opening just at the right time. And now in the second point, well, if you thought first point was a good place for Widow, the second point is even better. Seeker's got walls, and he's going to pop it first. Hydron with the later walls, and we're just going to stall it out. And RuPaul's actually gone over to Kiri here to try and help Sugarfree take over a little bit.
Interesting to see that RuPaul has stuck it out on the Kiri. I guess he wants to try and counter out Hydron a little bit too, because Kiri is a little bit of a soft Widow counter in the sense that you can slonk those orbs across the map and it manages to hit a magic headshot on him. You can see now going for a little bit of aggression up on the top left, just going for this poke, trying to contest the high ground a little bit, actually getting quite a lot of value. Hawk ping-ponging up there as well, so the cart just keeps on rolling bit by bit. Vega is quite close to the rally as well. You can hear Hydron has flanked over onto the right-hand side, but now we have a really aggressive fight up on the high ground with the Kitsune Rush. RuPaul TPing out, and it looks like Sam has messed up his Nano Blade, unless Seeker re-peaks for some reason. Good God, what was from Seeker? Okay, incredible Venom Mine, but Kaluj gets the trade onto RuPaul in the spawn. Vega still playing for the win. Can we get a Bash Pulse Bomb? 3, 2, 1. No need, apparently. And now, looks like Hawk has lost his mech, but he has the bomb to get the remake. And it does seem that Timeless are edging this one out. Keyword edging, we love that word here. But yeah, Hydron flanking on the right. Will he be able to find a pick, or is Sugarfree going to catch him?
Oh, here's the body shot forced back. He just about lives. A little bit of help from his team. It's going to be an ugly recontest, though. Kaluj is going to come out. They're going to try and rally the way back onto point here, but they've just walked away, Timeless.
to get some value going from Seeker, though, because we still have more ultimates on the side of ult. So there you go. There's that value from Seeker. So the ultimate economy, even though it is in favor, it's just a complete crumble for the side of American Tornado. Not entirely sure what's happened, but Sugar Free and Hawk, they've managed to chop up the backline. Seeker gets his one with the Widow, and everyone else just pushes into the backline. Sugar Free Hawk taking over with the dive.
I actually quite like this Kiri. It's really doing a good job of just compacting the Primis Tornado players, limiting the space Hydron can hold. Sam, obviously, he can contest him a bit, but it's still tricky. And all of a sudden, they're just sort of shoved into a little bit of a corner. Seeker has a bit more space. And they're doing all right off of it. And for what looked like a full hold, here we are on third point.
Yeah, no, the cart basically hasn't stopped now that we've gotten to third, and Hawk, he's made a controversial swap over to the Sigma. Really interesting, this one. Actually surprised to see this coming through, because I thought he was getting his job done on D.Va, but I guess you see the Genji, you see the D.Va, you think, you know what, I can just anchor up on the cart here, and I can just keep pushing it, block the Ana. So let's see if he's able to actually find some value in here. With both DPS underneath on that mini health pack, very strange positioning there for the Tornado guys. Walls pop for Hydron now.
Sugar Free's pressuring him out, but we might just be able to confirm the kill here. He's forced it back, has the pulse bomb. A stick now would be beautiful. With the backline as well, is forced back. It's a nano diva from Kaluj, though, and Kaluj just killed the backline, so shutting down this push. 35 seconds left on the clock. One more attempt, and we're not quite close enough to any integral ults here, if you're timeless.
Yeah, and I'm really not too sure about this Sigma swap from Hawk. He's only got 47% of the flux, and he had ult charge when he swapped. So he really must have done a whole lot of nothing after that swap. Really not found much value at all. Lot riding on Sugar Free's Pulse Bomb right now, unless we're going to see a massive ult turn from Vega or RuPaul.
Gonna shield out, force Hydron back. Now we have Pulse Bomb on point. Just gonna have to start by touching it. At least Hawk can sit on there for quite a while we get the rallies up. Can bully their way in. I think there's maybe a flank coming in. Hydron does have the angle. Sugar Free's going to pressure him out. He's 15 HP. He gets out. He gets the pocket. He's okay. The fight still goes on. Hawk will just keep anchoring this now. Sugar Free's still trying to work this opening. He has that pulse bomb. Going to try and get cleared out by Kaluj here. Just happy to keep this cart inching forward every moment.
No, Vega so clutch. Pulse Bomb on the cart does absolutely nothing. Another bash from OG. Soon a bash will come back from Vega. Oh, Sam pulls the blade, rips the blade. Hawk fluxes Sam into the air, though. Sam will be going down. The bomb from Kaluj catches absolutely nothing, and the trades are going well in the favor of Timeless. Will they get a recontest at all? They know that Ultraviolet is behind. You can see they're hunting for him, but there's only Hawk on the payload right now. So many people turning around, going for the hunt. Ultraviolet misses the sleep, and it is looking like the push is good for Timeless. Sugar Free back on the cart. OG dangerously low. Kaluj back on Doom, but there probably isn't enough in the tank to get a stop here.
Unbelievable.
From full hold to full push.
It's unbelievable that they've got a full cap out of this. So well recovered by Timeless. That second point was the big one. Second point can obviously be even trickier than the others. And they just did a really good job. I think the Kiri swap really enjoyed it from RuPaul. The Sigma one, I feel like if you go Sigma on third point, what you want to do is just push top, right? Just use the shield and your kind of like brawl advantage on the D.Va. Just get top for your backline and bully them out. But they kind of just force cart with it. It does ultimately pay off, but it was a bit of a scrappy ult fight. But
yeah, I mean, to be honest, they just won through a big ult advantage, but they could have just taken top from the beginning. You're right. Just walk over the backline.
When you get in that position for your backline and you can keep forcing cart with your Tracer, it just probably feels all right. But, I mean, they full cap Dorado. No, you can't be too unhappy with that. And we also... Yeah. How many times did we see Hydron's name pop up in the kill feed once we got past that first point? Really felt like he went from hard carry to getting shut down a lot more and struggling to find the same opportunities he did on first.
Yeah, you know, Hydron, he had a real crack dealer to crack head blow down after the first point. Really just slipped right away from him, you know? It was looking like he was on top of the world, and then, you know, addiction caught up with him, and he's just a bum again.
Now we swap over to the defense for Timeless. Looks like Sam's at least hovering Echo for now. Tracer Widow again. Kiri Brig again. So they're just locked into this comp here. Should be especially easy to keep this Widow in check with the Kiri on defense.
Yeah, I think this will be really difficult. This will be really difficult for Hydron now because he's going up against the Tracer of Sugar Free, and Sugar Free is probably going to be able to mark him out really hard. I think that Sam on the Genji here, it's really not that much pressure. Genji is not a very strong hero on this attack, I don't think. It really fits his pool, but I just don't think it's that much of a threat. It's going to be difficult for him to get on top of Seeker, and look at how easy it is for Sugar Free to get onto Hydron. He's already sitting right above him, just waiting for the peak.
No interest in him, I guess. No interest in him.
I mean, Hydron goes for the hook shot on the Tracer.
Back on, Hydron with a slight peek through main. They just seem to be inching their way in for now. Looking for Sugar Free, still getting harassed. Seeker misses the shot. Sugar Free's going to go for the pressure. Forces him back. But
you can see Vega actually providing a shield for Seeker. Seeker really provided with every advantage possible to win this duel. A personal Brig Pocket shield plus a Tracer camping the enemy Widow. And still, we're not seeing a lot of pressure onto Hydron, to be honest. I feel like I haven't seen his health bar go down very much.
No, good nade here from UV. Kaluj obviously playing Winston this time round, which maybe helps for Genji a little bit more because we've got these direct ones. It's actually Hydron who's won the duel behind. Seeker with a grapple shot. Only a body shot, though. No good. And they're going to keep
Seeker
this
really
forward.
not connecting when it matters.
Kaluj in a good position here, though. Actually, he's going to catch Vega, and Primis Tornado is going to keep this one rolling. Can get all the trades here, or all the staggers here, really, as well. Hawk's found
Hawk
one.
does get the trade kill. Oh. Kaluj is really low.
Sugar Free's got Pulse Bomb. It hits. Kaluj goes down. Important one. Can he get any more of a backline, or can Hawk keep... If Hawk lives right now, it's huge.
Yeah, there's definitely a recontest in here, and this is good ult charge for Vega as well. Vega's going to be really close to a rally now. There is a Nano Blade brewing, though, so we need to see whether there's going to be a Nano Winston coming out. Are we going to see Cracker Kellen rip out his hands, or are we going to see them play slow for a Nano Blade?
Just walking it up now. We'll see how they go. Will be a Nano Winston.
Seeker finally wins the duel.
Take over, Max. I'm lagging.
Okay, yeah, I got you, mate. It's unfortunately the feed that I'm watching is lagging too. Vega seems to have popped the rally. Blade comes out from Sam, but it doesn't seem to catch a whole lot of anything. Kaluj's Primal got nothing as well, so that's Nano, Primal, and Blade all invested for naught. Seeker getting that Widow pick early on, actually super impactful. At least Kaluj gets out, gets to farm up a little bit of Nano boost, so Ultraviolet is probably going to be close to 50% for the next fight, but still looking a little bit dicey on the side of Tornado now. They're really on the back foot. That was such a lean fight, only support ultimates invested. Hawk still has the bomb, Sugar Free has the pulse, Seeker has the Widow walls to match. Hydron is going to struggle here. You can see Kaluj vying for the space in the right hand side, but RuPaul and Sugar Free, they are fighting for it. Kaluj is not getting that sneaky push in. OG walking up in main, fighting for that space. But again, there is no immediate free lunch here. Immediately now we see Kaluj jumping into the right hand side, getting in the back line, but Ultraviolet is the one to go down to Sugar Free's pulse. Sugar finally landing a nice pulse bomb when it matters. Kaluj jumping back out, but Sugar Free has eaten up the entire back line of the American Tornado. Now it's looking dire. We're coming down to the final fight.
My internet seems to have stabilized just a little bit. I wouldn't say we're perfect, but we're getting back there. And yeah, it's starting to look like a full hold, but we've been in this situation before, Max. It's important not to call it too early. There is a nano boost brewing for UV. Imagine that will go probably in Kaluj's direction. We're on to Tracer Genji now as well, so dive is really the name of the game, but not straightforward to get onto top of a Brig Kiri.
Oh, Widow shot ringing out for Seeker now. Nobody to contest him anymore with Hydron on the Tracer and Sam stuck so far behind. Sam actually caught dashing backwards. Kaluj about to catch this Nano from the looks of it, but he has no bubble, so it's going to be an easy flail for Vega, and Seeker gets the pick onto Hydron. RuPaul, Vega, they've both snapped Kaluj's ankles. He's gotten absolutely nothing done. And now they're trying to kite away. Cleanse for RuPaul. Backline kites away once again. Hawk able to hold it down on the cart, and he has the bomb to keep himself healthy. He's been antied. He's getting demeched, but it's okay because he can throw the bomb out onto the cart. Catches nobody, but he does get the remech. Vega so low, but RuPaul pockets him back up. And there's a Kitsune rush coming towards the cart any second now. Seeker under a lot of pressure from Kalush. He does have the primal, but here comes the Kitsune rush. Here comes the rally as well on the cart. Hydron is actually back on the respawn. Vega trying his hardest to find something to bash. He bashes Hydron, misses the flail because he's a robot. And now it's actually looking like a total dogfight on the cart. Sam 85% on his blade. If this goes much longer, we're going to see a Dragon Blade slicing through everybody on the point. RuPaul finally though, he catches a headshot onto the Ana, and double support dead for the side of American Tornado. Sam dead, 99% on his Dragon Blade, and that is a full hold for Timeless.
Well, we said on paper they're the better dive team, and it ultimately proved to be true, but it was a bit of a roller coaster of a way to this conclusion, as we see what will probably be the Nano Blade play of the game here. Really just chews them up. And now we're in this interesting situation where we're tied up 2-2. They must feel confident on any future dive maps, but there's only one future dive map, realistically, right? If we go to Route 66 or something and they got that map pick, we're probably going to have to go back to more of a brawl matchup now we go to push. Maybe even a Colosseo coming out potentially.
Oh yeah, all right. I'll be a couple minutes. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry. I'm terrible in the stall.
This guy is probably going to cook up another horrendous burger and sausage combo. The Unter combo. So it's been an interesting series so far. We've seen a lot of back and forth. I think the interest... Dorado's a bit of a weird one because it just sort of exists in its own tiny pool of... You play dive here and people take a dive mirror, and I reckon we're not going to see a whole lot more diva mirrors on the go. And to the same degree, as much as Primis Tornado might be upset that they lost that map, so it's the sort of problem we don't need to solve. It's going to be a different comp matchup now. We can go back into it with a bit of a fresh approach. And they get map pick as well, of course. And it is push. Normally, the Colosseo is obviously the most rammy map, the most brawly map, but it is a map that Timeless normally pick, and Timeless do kind of fancy themselves on that map quite a lot. So I don't know if Primis Tornado, do you really want to pick into a map that the other team in theory does feel quite confident on and happy to go to? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you have been winning the Ram Mirror. So Primis Tornado really coming out on top of Ram Mirror. Just saying the team was begging for Winston. Yeah, it wasn't quite a fearless level performance on Winston from Kaluge. Didn't really get all that much done. Didn't have the greatest nano engages either. All sort of fell apart from him. But I have to feel we want to go to a Colosseo here if I'm Primis Tornado or something like that. Maybe New Queen Street as well. Last time we saw New Queen Street from Timeless, it was in that lower bracket final against Wisp, and this was where Timeless first went for Queen comp, and Timeless won the map to keep themselves in the tournament and take us to a map 5. But it was a crazy comeback on New Queen Street. I think you have to also look a lot at an element of choking and getting it wrong from Wisp there, but it will be the Colosseo pick. This is their best opportunity to force the Ram Mirror. Really hard to not just play a Ram Mirror in this. The first fight is probably nigh impossible for the dive team because of how slow and brawl favored it is. So instead, we're going to get the brawl come out. It'll be a very slow first fight, very Sojourn centric. There'll be a lot of wall and ram trades in the middle, but it's quite hard to get a clear advantage in these trades just because it's such a long, straight corridor. You guys have seen Colosseo before. You know how long we're probably going to be dealing with this first fight. And last time these two teams played Colosseo, it was absolute nail-biter. 57 meters to 56 meters, and UV had to come out with a big clutch. So hopefully we're in for a good one here again.
Yeah, I have come back, but I've neglected to come back with water, so I'm just gonna immediately love you and leave you and get some more water because I didn't think that far ahead. So keep on stalling, jackass.
I'm literally getting ripped off here, but it's okay. So both teams are ready. We're at a minute and a half out, and there's no real alternate way to take these first fights. So we will just be stuck in this slow, very pick orientated mirror, and we'll just have to wait and see who gets the better of that. For the most part, if you've only just coming into this series, if you've not caught all the maps, the consensus seems to be that Primis Tornado are the better team on the Ram Mirror at the moment. Timers have tried a lot of different things. They tried a Queen comp that kind of worked, but then really didn't work at all on King's Row. And then they've tried some of the Ram comp, and they were kind of losing on that as well. And then we got to go to Dorado and win a dive mirror, which Timers will be pretty happy about. So in a lot of ways, I think Timeless are probably a bit fortunate to find themselves 2-2 in this series at this stage. But there's still 3 maps to play, and at this point, it can really go either way. We're going to get a push in, and then I believe it's escort and push again, which does maybe actually give Timeless a bit of an option to take us to more dive-centric maps if they want to do it. It's whether they want to do dive into Brawl as opposed to just a dive mirror. But that's a problem for later. We'll go into Colosseo now. Big Brawl mirror. Excited for my 5.5 minute first fight.
Yeah, we love a nice slow neutral. But to be fair, these guys, they're all pretty impatient. So I doubt we will see a 5.5 minute long first fight because someone is just going to feed their fucking brains out.
Who's your money on, Ben?
I don't know. Hydron, Hawk, or Vega. One of those three. Actually, no, Sugar Free. How can I forget Sugar Free? Sugar Free needs to be in the mix too.
But
it's a little bit alarming that I'm picking one Tornado, but three of the guys from Timeless, which might tell you my little subtle bias into which team I think is winning this series. But I would never.
Yeah, it's a map that almost demands you have to play a Ram Mirror of some form. There's really not a lot of ways around it. As I see Hawk immediately lock the Sigma and just tempt fate. I guess if it is a long, slow neutral, maybe you can make it work, but just when you have that Sigma, he just feels so squishy and killable if you wall him,
Yeah, I mean, I think that with all the RAM buffs that have come through, Sigma is just not the play at the moment. And I was watching how Hawk was playing the Sig on Samoa, and I really felt like it wasn't the move. But he is committing to it. He really does not feel confident in the matchup. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out, because they won on Samoa, but I don't think it was for the right reasons, I think they won just because the other guys made fucking terrible mistakes. Every time I watched the neutral on Samoa in their previous match, it looked like Hawk was losing it. It looked like Kaluj was just playing life and then walking up and getting massive value from his cooldowns, forcing Hawk out of the game. So let's see if Hawk can find any value. He's been picking the Sigma a little bit here throughout, and it's never looked exceptional, but, maybe now is his time to shine.
Will just be a slow one. Obviously, in this very slow pokey phase, he'll do alright. He'll be able to farm a lot of damage here. Hard for Primis to walk up too much, but slowly but surely closing the distance. Early rock here, so a chance for Kaluj to form if he wants to put more pressure on. But we don't really have the wall. Sam's actually in the trenches a little bit here. Will get forced back. Rail missed from Hydron. And it's RuPaul goes down. No one had that one in the spread. And
yeah, there's a mystery fifth option of RuPaul going down. But I'm not sure, is this a problem of the Sigma? It feels like, there's just not a whole lot going on, American Tornado, they just got that free step up. Seeker's actually taking names right now. He's gone into the backline, gotten a wild number of trades, and now it's just Collusion Hydron pushing the cart. So I think almost immediately RuPaul's going to be able to walk up, shoot the cart a little bit, and stop it from moving.
Yeah, they'll get a few meters here, but they're barely going to get out of the Colosseum itself. They're going to have to go back and reset. Kaluj will be able to form his way out here, no problem. And Seeker's even got himself a teeny tiny Sojourn advantage thanks to some of those trades. But a lot of the other ults leaning a little bit more Primus favoured. But Hydron's dead.
Have you turned the preview back on or something? Your mic's doing the thing where you lag.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, you best fix that. Hawk looks like he's been walled and is just getting hard dominated. Really nice lamp from RuPaul to keep him alive. We're going to need to answer back with a window there because OG has come in with the first tempo. Ultraviolet has come through with the first tempo window. Now, Seeker gets a nice snare through the window. That's going to zone off the entire left-hand side of the map. Primus Tornado going to have a real difficult time pushing through that. Rock onto Kaluj. Decent damage. Kaluj looking pretty low. Seeker has the overclock if he wants it. He only catches OG, but for some reason, Seeker does not want to throw his overclock into that. Big comes second from Vega, Blizzard as well, and Kaluj finally frozen up. Sam frozen up as well. A really lukewarm Blizzard from Sam, catching only Hawk around a corner. But Hydron shifting in for the hero play, and it looks like he's about to make it happen, but no, RuPaul shuts it down and trades both Hydron and Ultraviolet, and now it is actually Timeless that are in the driver's seat.
Hopefully I sound a little bit better now and we can lock in for the rest of this. They'll get about 20 meters or so coming up here. They've walled Hawk onto the high ground actually to try and hold a little bit of early space. But he's going to be forced straight back down. We're just going to be in quite a slow fight here. No ult for Primus here, so just a chance for Seeker to open this one up with an overclock.
Yeah, your mic is still playing up a bit, so see if there's anything else you can close in the background, I suppose. Sugar Free going down really early in this neutral, a little bit suboptimal. I cannot lie to you, not entirely sure what has taken him, given there are no ultimates on the board, and they had an overclock in the back pocket. This is something about Sugar Free. I watched this map yesterday, and I'm watching it again today, and it feels like he is just collapsing time and time again at these Colosseum archway fights. He really doesn't know how to position. He's getting stuck all by his lonesome, dying really early in the neutral, not playing the cover very well, impatient. Just let the cart start, push back around the corner if you're so confused, and play for the middle fight, because it never seems to be working for him. Really, early pick, early death, and that big lead that they had a chance to seize just completely slips through their fingers.
This time I'm really confident my mic sounds better, and I've actually finally nailed it.
Still sounds funny, but you know, it can happen. RuPaul throwing down his signature window here on the cart. Actually catches Hydron, so the one-shot combo finally paying some dividends. Looking good from the onset, and Seeker actually, he really wants to win this fight. He throws in the overclock as well. You can see Sugarfree is pushed deep inside trying to kill Kaluj. Kaluj is doing a really good job to juggle all this aggro. OG pushing in now, just trying to go for a trade, but no such luck. And it is a clean sweep for the side of Timeless. But 2 ultimates invested for it to nothing on the side of Tornado.
Now they've got a huge stack of ults coming back, but one nice thing about the Flux is you can actually flux them quite early as they walk in, maybe force out not a particularly good B or force a lot of their cooldowns first. So want to get a lot of pressure on this walk up here, but they're just going to try and play to get caught under. Actually, here comes that Flux. Does he miss it? He misses it, Max.
Good grief, Hawk. Don't know why we're fluxing before we can even shoot the enemy team, so we're going to have to ask Flux about Hawk about that in review. And then a Majax as well from Sugarfree, really trying to double down on the game-losing mistakes here. Fluxjax into Majax, really just the old Atlanta Academy teammates deciding that they together would like to lose together. So really interesting stuff there coming out from them, as Hawk fluxes before shooting the enemy, and Sugarfree blizzards while on 0 health out in the open. Really, really questionable stuff. 1 ultimate invested for the side of American Tornado, and 4 in the bank. They have an insane capacity to snowball right now. Early ult coming out from Hydron up on the high ground. Sugarfree in the ice block. Vega has tried to counter it with the beat, and you can see he's pushing aggressively onto Hydron. Hydron really low, but now the blizzard has come down from Sam. Sugarfree already dead, as is Hawk. Window has actually come out from RuPaul. The ultimate economy is just slipping away from these guys. This is looking like a checkpoint cap for Primis Tornado.
Gonna work the way in, have this window if he really needs it, UV, but he's getting pressure on now. They're looking for trades. Good kill onto Seeker. Can he deal with Vega as well? Not a problem. They keep pretty much everyone alive. But yeah, 5 alive. Gonna get capped off this fight. And now Primus have the chance to really just put in this fight, or put in this map to bed.
The Sigma was looking alright, I can't lie to you. The fact that Hawk has missed the Flux and immediately made the swap over to the Ramatra, a little bit telling of his confidence in this series, because I think that the Sigma was actually looking decent. Seeker, though, going for the overclock up on the top left high ground, shifting straight into the face of the enemy Ramatra. Incredibly risky maneuvers here. You can see Kaluj trying to juggle his punch and his block, and just Seeker trying to take the guy down. Hydron shifting up onto the high ground, taking a big risk. Hawk catches him with the snare on the ground, and now finally, there might be a chance for a retake here from the side of Timeless. That being said, RuPaul gets traded by Ultraviolet, and everyone is so low. Everyone on the side of Timeless bleeding out. Kaluj punching everyone down. Hawk, Vega, dead. Seeker taken down by Sam. And that's another fight on the side of Tornado. A 5 vs 4 thrown away. No extra ultimates invested from Tornado. Really, they need to slow it down on the side of Timeless. It's slipping right past them.
It's such a beautiful situation now if you're Primus Tornado. You get on this distance, and now you can start just taking tactical losses on their side, save your ults to win the fights on your side. You make it so hard for them. But they might still commit this annihilation here. It's kind of looking on for Kaluj.
Yeah, it does look like Kaluj wants to keep fighting. He's pushing up now onto Sugarfree. Annihilation hasn't gotten a whole lot of value. Finally, a good blizzard from Sugarfree. It actually does catch Kaluj out, and Seeker hits the rail onto Hydron, so no further ultimate investment required on the side of Timeless, but they've got a long way to go. It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen an unbelievable push retake of about 112 meters today from Timeless, but, you know, 2 times in one day, I feel like at that point you must have God on your side.
The Colosseo one as well has to be. You need several gods to interfere for that one to happen. Now I just want to see
smart religion maxing to win this one.
Now I just want to see smart decision making coming out from Primus Tornado. Just manage the game correctly here. Don't do anything crazy. Disengage ults where you can, and be ready just to win a layer fight.
Yeah, okay, so we see a nice early window coming out from RuPaul. Not too sure about that. Big comes out from Vega. Vega still caught, and Sugarfree goes down. Not entirely sure whether he had block or not. Perhaps he had it forced earlier on. And now you can see there's a split. Hawk stuck over on the left-hand side, fighting. He has the annihilation to really keep himself going if needed, but it would be much better if RuPaul could just keep him going. It seems that RuPaul has dropped the lamp in main. Hawk is all by his lonesome on the left. Seeker actually pops the overclock. OG does have the beat drop. Is he going to throw it in? He is not. Instead, Kaluj goes down to the overclock, and it looks like the push will continue. Annihilation has also come out from Hawk in the mix.
Oh, what a trade.
But RuPaul actually gets traded.
What a trade from Sam there. Really saves it. I don't know if they can get, actually they can get a touch quite easily before cap as well. So this is a fight win for Timeless, but not the sort of one that's actually going to benefit them. all that much. Obviously better than losing it, but it cost him everything, right? No ults, OG coming back with a beat. Good decision from OG. Timeless is just going to have to disengage. 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock. We're on Kiri now as well. We need some magic right now from Timeless.
Yeah, I think that this Kiri swap, it's more of a panic than anything else. I really don't think that this is well suited to the neutral. When there's all the Mei walls, you need to be able to weave damage in. You need some of that AoE healing, and my god, it's not looking like Kiri's going to be able to provide all that. RuPaul, it's actually going to be so hard to play as the front line of Timeless now with the Kiriko in the back pocket. Hawk's just not going to be getting that throughput. Seeker shifting up to the high ground, going for the hero play, gets nothing. Cleanse committed by RuPaul now. OG has the beat drop. Hydron 1 health. Vega actually connects as well. Really nice hero play coming through from Vega and Seeker together, shifting up onto the high ground. Sugar Free, he's playing underneath. He's just playing the clock. He's 80% to Blizzard now. He's actually run up to the high ground. Another cleanse thrown in. Vega now, he has the beat. He does drop the beat. It catches everyone. The Blizzard has actually only caught Hawk. Blizzard comes out, but absolutely that will not be catching anyone from Sugar Free because Kaluj is standing on the edge. So this is looking like a bit of a disaster now for the side of Timeless. They committed everything to that.
Primis used everything as well, but obviously in this type of situation, it favors Tornado so dramatically for that to happen. Only an overclock Kiri ult coming back. I guess there's an annihilation around the corner, but you still need to get cap. You need to win so many fights now if you're Timeless. And as I say it, I do hear the deja vu in my voice. It's not over yet. Let's see what Seeker can get done here.
Yeah, perhaps Seeker can, perform yet another miracle today. But, we've got to be realistic about how many times we can ask this guy to turn water to wine, really. There we go, Sugar Free, killing Sam. The beginning of a miracle. The Red Sea is beginning to rumble. The parting may begin. If Hawk can hang on to this annihilation as well, we're actually starting to see a run back of what we saw on New Queen Street, where the ult economy for the final fight is miraculously good despite regular failings. You can see RuPaul not healing at all. The comms are good for these guys. Vega is farming up as much beat as possible in case this fight goes long. We're going to see fast spawns now for the side of Tornado, but there's still 2 fights that need to be won. Despite that, look at the ults on the side of Tornado. They've got nothing in the tank.
Just that overclock soon. You maybe need to dry fight here, right? Just try and get what outs you can out. Sugar Free going deep, looking for this pulse bomb. It will just be a Kiri ult. Whipple just kills UV. Whipple's traded for traded. It's a dogfight. I think they're winning it, but it's a dogfight, and this means the recontest for Primus Tornado is really on now.
Yeah, no, now we're in a really difficult spot if we're on the side of Timeless. We actually need to see Vega taxiing RuPaul. RuPaul needs to get on something that will be back quick, but it's just not happened. Vega's staying the course. They're trying to take this 4v5 with no flex support. Hawk's just trying to hold it down, fighting, trying to push onto the backline here. Ice block forced out from Sam, but there's just no healing. And RuPaul, he's coming back on Moira. He's going to be ages. There's no TP. Fork has another shift, but he has had to waste his ult. Vega now 86% on his ultimate. It's getting really close to a beat drop, 92, but Hawk is going to go down. So difficult for him to stay alive. Oh, the beat drop is actually going to come out from Vega. Hawk doesn't get it, but everyone is alive. Hydron actually the only person to go down. Hawk gets another left shift as well, another form timing, and Seeker takes down OG. It's actually going the way of Timeless. Kaluj invests the annihilation as well, 101 meters to 112, and somehow they're clearly religion maxing. We've got Christians on the side of Hawk, we've got Muslims on the side of RuPaul, and honestly, there is clearly a god diff taking place right now because you cannot beat these motherfuckers on push today.
It's unbelievable. When we were talking about it, I was sort of joking because it's just no way on Colosseo. This never happens. This never happens on Colosseo, and now Timeless have taken the lead in the series. Unbelievable. What's even the difference in these plays? Is it just I don't even how the ult economy got so bad for him in these final fights, right? It actually became really winnable because of such a significant ult disadvantage. Was it that 4 ult?
Yeah.
It was that 4 ult for free fight? And that was maybe the one that sunk him?
Even when they had the lead, like OG, he was nursing his beat drop for like 3 fights in a row. And when they kept losing these fights with the beat in the back pocket, it gave them the opportunity to kind of sneak back up and get their ult economy back in check on the side of Timeless. But yeah, just brutal. Ooh. It's a control map.
Yeah, control map. Obviously, Nepal out of the question as we started on it. Will be their choice.
if we see Antarctic Peninsula here, I am really interested to see whether Hawk and Sugar Free actually adjust their play at all. Because on Icebreaker, it was looking so dodgy for them, just always playing that open angle, really weak positioning from them. So hopefully they can tighten that up a little bit, figure out something that stops them from just getting face fucked on repeat by the double angle.
Well, if I'm Primus Tornado, I'm probably really keen to pick that map as well, right? If you think they've just got a weak hold there. I don't know if they would have been. There's always like, are we warming up or how much of a game do we watch if they saw it? But they would probably at least know that Whisper won that map, right? And that they can probably get, for the most part, a pretty straight up Ram mirror on most of those stages as well. Because even then, that Colosseo comeback, it was on the Ram, Kiri, Lucio, Tracer, Sojourn, which is not a very conventional version of the mirror by any means.
Yeah, no, I mean they're winning these overtime fights in these incredibly scuffed matchups. Like really, just it's kind of hard to believe that this keeps happening.
Even as we got to that final fight there, it felt like, even though we've been in a bit of an alt drought for Primus Tornado, we're going to get the Annihilation, we're going to get the B, everything's going to come back just in time, and they just can't seem to find the kills quickly enough. And you think against a Kiri Lucio, the longer the fight goes on, once that cleanses out, you can actually start to kill stuff a little bit more easily, especially the Ram you can put under pressure, right? Really force him into a situation where the Kiri just can't keep him fully topped up. But they just couldn't seem to find any of the cleanup kills. And then it all starts to fall apart from there.
Seen pick yet, or I think we're just keeping secrets, the Tornado boys, they must be a bit rattled by that massive comeback, and now they're just they're just going sitting there in the lab trying to figure out what their map pick is, because we're never going to know.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of enjoyment for the pure neutral, every time these two teams play Colosseo, it's actually pretty good. So we could just roll a couple more Colosseos. Don't think I'd ever be saying that, but maybe just keep letting these guys play Colosseo. We'll get some entertainment on the go.
Yeah.
It was actually a crazier finish than their previous Colosseo where UV clutched in the last fight. So it's actually
this
escalating.
One, like, no flex support. Hawks just ult to hold it down. Second layer fucking flips across Vega, 99% on beat, throws it out. Like, just amazing, dude. Actually amazing. So crazy that they win that. And the Blizzard somehow gets nothing. Like, I don't know, dude.
It's they all have the awareness, or they just happen to be in the right place at the right time to disengage the Blizzard on point after a pretty long overtime at the point, then still get back and get the touch, and Vega gets the beat off and everything's okay. Then we just survive the Annihilation. It's wild, really. And we are going to get an Antarctic pick coming out here.
Nice.
So probably a Ram mirror. Saw Timeless have a lot of problems here, and it almost doesn't feel like it. I don't know if it feels this way for you, but to me, it doesn't quite feel like Timeless are ahead in the series based on what I've seen.
It does not feel like Timeless is winning the Ram mirror. It feels like Timeless is losing the Ram mirror fucking hard, dude. Like,
but they're 3-2 up
like they're
in
just
the series.
losing on ult economy and then winning on miracles.
Well, we asked for miracles, and the miracles came one after the other in the exact order they needed them, and they clutch out. When you think back to where we were on New Queen Street versus Wisp as well, what a series of miraculous clutch plays we've seen. And now we're in this situation where we're going to Antarctic Peninsula, and it's on the line for Primus Tornado. The lights have been turned up to max. The pressure is on. There's no more room for error. And they have to win the next two maps.
I'm feeling a Timeless victory this time around, I'm feeling it, because I feel like there's just no way that Primus isn't bothered by the way that they've been losing these matches, It's like the knowledge that they're just better in the neutral and they just keep fucking it up, It's like these guys are truly, they're really suffering for a bit of an anti-clutch curse in tournaments, whenever it matters for these guys, whenever the lights get cranked up to 11, it doesn't matter how much of an overdog they are. Even when you watch the series and you can see that they're better, they still find a way to lose. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I can't. If you were to have someone ask me right now, well, how are Timers ahead in this series? I'd have to tell you, I really do not know. Somewhere between hook and crook, they have found themselves ahead in this series. I was saying while you were away, even when the series was 2-2, I was like, it doesn't feel like it's a 2-2 series. Like, it doesn't feel like we've really traded for maps like that, but
Yeah,
here
no,
we
it
are.
feels like it feels like, two earned easy wins for Tornado and then just robberies from Timeless time and time again. But you know what? When you're up 3-2, it's no longer robbery. There's clearly, something's going right.
But that's the point. That's why you play best of seven in these in the finals, because the idea is the more maps you play, the more you eliminate any kind of margin for error or randomness or anything like that, right? And that could maybe make it feel like this wasn't the true result or the deserving victors. So if you win a best of seven, you really have to say you were the better team on the day.
Yeah, and it's kind of looking like Timeless. They're in pole position right now. Any time they go up now, it's going to be match point. Like it's looking quite good for them. This open map here, this is going to be Seeker's opportunity to run amok. Seeker's going to be able to take these nice wide angles. This is the Sojourn map. But again, on this map, I remember seeing any time Timeless was in control, Sugar Free was really struggling. He couldn't find a corner to play on. He was just sticking in this open area, watching the choke a little bit too much, getting spammed out, dying even with his shift.
Exactly, yeah. So Hydron starting on the Symmetra might just be a TP out of spawn. That's what we would expect at least. And then the swap onto Sojourn. This is the map where Time's had a lot of problems. Even holding on point initially felt a little bit rough for him. So we'll see which way they go here. And it looks like maybe just meeting Coast this time instead.
Yeah, there's no TP on the side of Timeless, but I'm not entirely sure that it's actually going to benefit them because you see Hawk, he just swings super wide before the Sojourn even gets there and immediately gets really good punches onto Sam, forces his Ice Block out nice and early. So now when they swing back into main, Sam is going to have to play very passive, very scared because he hasn't got his Ice Block for another couple of seconds. I can't count though, so it's probably already up by now. Actually, we've got someone from American Tornado on the point right now, and Hawk dropping down to the point. That is not good news because now that Hawk is on point, it means that he cannot run up on the back line. He cannot get value off on the high ground. So now we're just in a clean neutral, and this is only going to be broken by a May-off angle, which it seems like Sam has the better of, or a Sojourn one-shot. Right now, on the high ground, it does seem like Seeker is the one taking control of that, though. He's immediately onto the backline, actually, pressuring Ultraviolet, and in the meantime, Sam and Hydron have both gone down. Nice picks from Sugar Free there, and Hawk as well. So that is the first fight going the way of Timeless. Can you feel the momentum swing in this game, X?
Yeah, you can certainly feel it there. You just feel the confidence as well. All of a sudden, Primis Tornado just gets sort of suckered into that point fight, even though they maybe could have stayed high ground longer. Then who is it pushing and taking the angles and taking the flanks? It's Sugar Free, it's Seeker. They find the kills, they get the win off it. Now they've gotten this earlier window as well. Primis Tornado probably going to have to just take a step back as it comes in, but very wide here, and Blue's going to have to form.
Yeah, you can really see how much of these matchups are the intersect between patience and confidence, Taking your time to take the neutral a little bit, but then creeping in on these side angles bit by bit and just eating bits of the map one by one. And that's really what's going on here. Seeker has the overclock coming up right now. Ultraviolet has thrown down the window and RuPaul is in a bit of a passive position right now. Seeker going for a long-winded flank, though, about to get the ult off. Flanks onto Ultraviolet, hits the rail twice, but just surviving Ultraviolet does with his shift. Vega throws down the beat. Beat comes out second for OG, and Sugar Free dies before the beat comes out. So this is not looking good at all for Timeless. Hawk still has the Annihilation soon to come up, but I don't think he's going to get it. No, he does not. And this was a very lean fight again for the American Tornado, folks. A really rough beat there from Vega. Sugar Free going down before the beat comes out is a disaster.
Did have a May ult faster as well, so would have been the swing factor in that fight, as we do get UV requesting a pause.
And we have incompetent admins spectating the game. There we go.
Got it. At least it was between a fight, eh? But yeah, if that beat had kept Sugar Free in it, then we get the May ult off. Everything's up to slightly quicker. Like, maybe, obviously, a lot of stuff still to happen, right? But it really could have been. And if they win that fight, it's really just an ugly touch for Primus from there. But they get a look back in, and now it's just Annihilation Blizzard versus Annihilation Blizzard.
Yeah, nice and even now. Just really nice movements from Seeker. You can see when he has the overclock, he takes these wonderful flank angles where he gets a direct sightline of the enemy BAP and he gives himself one or two chances to hit the rail into the follow-up altered rail. Really unfortunate for him that he didn't take down Ultraviolet there because he did get two clean shots off on it, but Ultraviolet, spectacular, fast reaction times on the shift, like immediate D-peak and no headshot from Seeker. That really is the difference maker.
Really small margins with these things, because even when you're peaking with Sojourn, it's really your first rail / first 2 rails. Those are your big openings to get the kill before anyone quite realizes you're there. So if you don't hit that first one, can often be a little bit difficult. Well played by UV, and now they're in control, retaken from Coast again.
OG and Hydron both playing the super wide angle right now. Hydron shifting out there really early on. Sam playing quite far back, just trying to bait for his Blizzard a little bit. And it looks like Sugar Free, he's struggling right now to find a target. But Hawk walled over in the corner, and it actually looks like Tornado are pushing themselves into a corner where it's going to be really easy for Sugar Free to get this Blizzard off. Actually, Vega gets out of that Blizzard really nice. Hawk frozen up, but Hydron does go down to Seeker's Rail. Hawk also popped the Annihilation there. Sam and Kalush all going down, and it's a clean sweep for Timeless. Really poor movement coming out from the side of American Tornado there. Versa Blizzard and boxing themselves up in that corner. Not entirely sure what the game plan was there, other than, hey, come Blizzard us, stick us in a corner.
It's such a horrible part of the point to hold, especially against ults like that. They have the Annihilation now for this next fight, so it's a classic Window versus Annihilation matchup. We'll see how they choose to take it here, if Cluj wants to go through it, or they just want to do a 2-step. Disengage the Window, go back with their Annihilation.
Yeah, I mean, you can see really nice movement here from RuPaul, just staying involved in the fight. Wide swing from Hydron, though, doesn't get any value, and soon we're going to see a window come out from RuPaul, I'm sure of it. Especially now that he's run up to this high ground here, so he's super safe. Kaluj can't swing on him at all. Kaluj just having to stand and block, nothing to do there, and the cap is very nearly being conceded. You can see, though, they're trying to hold on to it. Seeker pops the overclock up on the high ground, pushing out into main. Swing, he can't see a whole lot of anything. OG hit with the rail, but does not go down, and Seeker, he's bearing down on people in main, but there are no kills coming through. OG trying to contest so badly. Hydron up on the high ground, trading rails, but he does get the better of Seeker with his own overclock. Sugar Free now 90% on the Blizzard. Hawk gets the kill onto Sam. Vega has the beat. He must hold on to this. They need to hold on to this for the retake.
I don't know how I feel about that beat from OG in the end. It felt like it was about 5v3 maybe it's a little 5v4, but it felt like even if it was still 5v4, they were all just in the corner underneath us, you know. Hydron had done the heavy lifting by getting the later Sojourner and winning that duel. So now we've not really got anything but Sam's Mayo in a little bit versus Mayo beat. Just need to not rush this now if you're timeless. You still have time to take a neutral into these ults. Don't rush it. Just one fight left in this round.
This is definitely the test of Timeless's mettle, where they really do have every advantage they could possibly ask for, this huge beat drop advantage. All they need to do is take the neutral properly, and they will win on economy. Let's see if they can make it happen, and immediately Vega just rushes his beat, gets nothing for it. Kaluj now frozen up, probably not frozen up. Okay, this is about as bad as you could possibly get for the side of Timeless here, rushing all of their ultimates, getting absolutely nothing for it, and really now it's all on Tornado, because Sam, he's got a Blizzard. There's a lot of people probably caught in this. Annihilation comes out for Hawk. It does actually seem like Hawk is nearly counted. Oh, he has not cut it out of it whatsoever, actually, so this is looking really bad now for the side of Timeless, and this is just a fucking disaster. They had the ults, and they go for a stupid beat rush on the high ground when the enemy team has full skills, get it counted out by a simple Maywall, and then Sugar Free doubles down, throws his Blizzard into the abyss. Just total rubbish. It's the same stuff we've been talking about time and time again. These issues plague both of these teams, but it's particularly egregious with Timeless. Their ult economy is just pathetic.
They're still trying to make a touch work here. Hawk's back on Doom. They only have Window versus the Sojourner. Doom's good at Hawk's good at Doomfist. We'll see if he can make it work, but Sugar Free goes down and he doesn't get the touch. It was an unlikely fight to win anyway, right? But it's really that fight before that you were talking about. That one is for one that's just like when you have Mayo advantage on a team, the advantage you have with Mayo is not just the fact that you have Mayo, but if there's ever like a particularly nice piece of ground you want to go stand on that they're standing on, like top or something, you just get to take it from them because they have to be ready to disengage. You can really bully teams with this, so I would really like to see a Coast retake, kind of like their first fight. Go there, force Primis Tornado onto point, and then let's see if there's an opportunity to Mayo or we force to shift or whatever it might be. Instead, we just rush it. Primus Tornado gets to win the round, and that one really hurts.
You really do hate to see it, to be honest, because it feels like something that they should have addressed by now. They should have figured this out, but unfortunately, when it comes down to the clutch, you know, you're on map 6, you're really close to winning the series, and you just rush these things, and that's how you lose. If there's no strong leadership, if there's no one forcing the neutral to go long, then it just is not going to happen. And you see Vega, he's this inexperienced player, relatively speaking. He keeps making these same mistakes, always ulting way too early. There you go, Kaluj now getting a much later shift than Hawk. Hawk actually back to the wall, and Kaluj getting massive swings all the way along, a much later shift, but The counter wall from Sugar Free is huge. Hawk's going to get another form timing here. He might be able to push top with this. It actually looks like instead, Timeless are going to concede the high ground and try and play for the cap. I'm not entirely sure whether this is worthwhile, because now high ground is just going to be uncontested. Sugar Free actually pushing up onto the high ground with the Lucio, and they catch OG. OG with his pants down, slacking. Nice wall from Sugar Free as well. Catches out Sam. So now Sam has no ice block. Seeker in a little bit of danger, but such a skill advantage and a player advantage for the side of Timeless. Sugar Free though, he decides he wants to run into a punch without pressing left shift. Absolute fucking clown. Vega taking so low, and OG's going to be back in no time. This is actually going to be an advantaged fight for Tornado. Unbelievable. Sugar Free feeding advantages. Vega feeding advantages. These people need to be shot.
They did the hard bit. They took initiative in the neutral. They swing wide. Really nice timing by Sugar Free and Seeker. They get the pick and then just don't press shift, get a little bit caught. And now we're still in this extended neutral window going to be coming out from UV. He lamps to keep peeking and Seeker goes down. And that should be enough now for Primis Tornado to finally cap this point off.
Seeker's having a really rough time on this point. 67% of the overclock through to Hydron, who already has his in the bag. RuPaul, he lapped Ultraviolet on that window, got his up so much quicker, but it just didn't work. It wasn't worthwhile because unfortunately, there just wasn't the staying power. Nobody was able to get a pick through it.
Now they're walking back in. Hydron's going to be sitting on this high ground with overclock, and it's tough. It's tough to push into this high ground around this corner. It's just such a tight space. Instead, they're going to try and force point, but this obviously gives an element of freedom to Hydron to drop this overclock when he sees the opportunity. Blue just wants to match him, and here goes Hydron.
Yeah, and there we go. Hydron pushing through on the flank now, catches Seeker. Will he catch RuPaul? No, he will actually slide into his demise because he's an absolute animal. Blizzard's coming out from either side. Looks like it's going to be Sugar Free that gets frozen up, but Vega hits a really nice counter beat there. Sugar Free taking so much damage though. Hawk popped the Annihilation, but it looks like it's immediately been cancelled, so we're +1 on the side of American Tornado right now. OG stuck in the corner, they're getting fisted, but it does look like incredible pocket from Ultraviolet, keeping OG alive, managing to scale that wall, and now Seeker, he's the one to keep your eyes on because he's the one coming back with the overclock, the ult that might be able to break this neutral. RuPaul also very, very close to his window. He might be able to turn it around too. But now both teams just slowing things down, and it's going to be another ult fight. Are we going to see someone push out top, or are we going to see another point force from Hawk? Hawk has really not been doing a whole lot, forcing the point every single time, but Kaluj is matching him every time. So Seeker going for his signature long-winded flank every time he presses the ult. Now he's gone super wide, and Sam looks to have just about counted it out, actually. Nobody is peeking this, and this is really rough for Seeker. Nice shot onto the back of Kaluj, but will it be enough? Ultraviolet goes down. Kaluj solo as well, and it is looking like Timeless might be able to take this fight away, but at a great cost, and it looks like it's going to be last fight for them, because 85% and counting, their next touch will be very scuffed.
Well, if there's one team who I know loves a comeback, it is Timeless, and this will actually be one of their least ambitious comebacks if they were to able to come back from this one. No ults really on the board for any team. Annihilation probably the closest for Hawk. May ult not too far away behind it as well, so it'll just be a straight neutral here. Obviously the high ground advantage is going to be massive. We'll see if Primis Tornado want to take the same approach and force point here. The slower fight is going to favour the team with high ground, you have to feel.
You can see Seeker working this side angle a lot harder than Hydron was when he was in control. So there's going to be no surprise pushes up onto the high ground with Seeker keeping an eye on this flank. And Kaluj in the front. While Seeker zones the backline, Kaluj is taking so much damage. Lamp has been committed now. OG trying to push up onto the high ground, but it is so risky for him. He's 1 health, so is Vega. But now Kaluj, he is just going to get fucked from the side. Hydron actually trying to go for a high ground take himself. But Seeker and Vega doing such a good job of controlling the high ground. OG has the beat advantage though. Are we going to see that leverage? Is Hawk going to get anything done with this Annihilation? There's not a lot for him to push right now. It's just a tank v tank, and now OG, he has this beat. Is he going to use it? This side fight is going forever. Seeker has the overclock. He's probably going to push inside and use it, but the beat is committed. A nice lamp from RuPaul inside, but it is not in time. Hawk gets the Annihilation kill onto Sam, even though Sam pops the Blizzard and catches him, but Hydron, he's going for the clutch. 50 HP, but he goes down. And now again, last fight, even ults. Oh, not quite even ults actually. There's a little bit of an advantage here for Tornado, but they are pressured to touch.
The beat push to win the side fight, I think it's actually, I'm really okay with the decision. The problem is it just means everyone else in the main needs to slow down if we're going to do that. We're going to be dedicating a lot of resources to that. We get caught over committing, and now Vega has his beat advantage going into this final fight. Pretty good against Annihilation, should be able to keep him alive.
Looking like a slow neutral here. I mean, Tornado, they might be able to find a little bit of ult value here. Really fast push, though, and a forced beat coming out. Another forced Blizzard as well, but this time it actually catches Sam. Only Sam, though. Kaluj trades onto RuPaul and Vega, so no heals on the side of... Oh, jeez, this is a disaster for Timeless. No healers on... Yeah, no. It's going to be really difficult to clutch if both of your supports have been dead at the end of the fight, because now there's just nothing to keep them alive. Hawk is trying to get out, but it's looking like he's probably going to die.
There's surely no way out
Oh,
of this one.
yeah, there's no way out.
Now who gets the touch? Not Vega, and it's just gonna be round. It's gonna be mapped to Primis Tornado, and we've gone the distance. We're tied up 3-3, timeless with map pick in the final map.
Yeah, what is the final game type?
I presume it's escort because there's only 2 hybrids, so and there's only 2 flashpoints, so it must be escort again, which means we're going to be between Route 66 and Shambali. Bearing in mind it's timeless pick. Do you go Route 66 and go dive for all the marbles?
Oh, jeez. I mean, do you think that dive is the move there? I feel like that might wind up being some sort of like weird, newfangled Sigma matchup.
I feel like the nice thing about Dorado when you pick dive is you actually sort of guarantee a dive mirror for the most part, you know? And that's, if you're a good dive team, you definitely favour yourself in that. But the problem with Route 66 is, even though it is dive favoured, it doesn't quite feel the same, I think. And I think dive mirror is really okay just to, like, raw dog. Dive into, like, a brawly matchup, or if they play some kind of, like, Bat Brig Tracer like Florida or some Bastion stuff, then I feel like you actually need experience against those type of comps and a bit more structure and planning in terms of how you use your ults and where you fight them in different places. So yeah, I'd feel a little bit anxious about the dive into Brawl. But do you want to just take a Ram Mirror on Shambali?
I mean, I feel like, they haven't really been winning the Ram mirrors. Every time it's a clean Ram mirror, they are not coming out on top. Miracle Red Sea parting moment and Nepal, these were not Ram mirrors, like even the push map, they were losing that mirror. So they must be deliberating really hard right now, because it's like they probably don't even know what they play on Route 66.
It's really true because of the size of a map pool and the nature of obviously Escort is map 4 in the grand finals, but for all the other maps it was map 5, so it's the least likely map type you are to play, and they're quite complicated maps. So when I was with XX Oblivion, I wasn't even until this week we really played Shambali or Route 66, because it was just such a low priority for us in terms of our ambitions of getting through the first few games and putting us in a good position for the last few days. You're just not going to prioritize those maps, so Route 66 and Shambali for all the marbles. At least Shambali, it would just be a Ram mirror, so at least you can have those fundamentals. Or you just go Route 66 and make it weird. Maybe you make it weird and go dive.
Yeah, I mean, they might just keep us guessing.
I'm not sure. I don't think they keep us guessing. I think there's a very interesting internal conversation going about this call, because I don't think there's not an obvious call here at all if you are timeless.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Look, Gamgel, they're pressuring them. They're trying to know. And Timeless, they still don't know, because they're probably sitting there thinking, holy fuck, every time we take a Ram mirror, we fucking lose. Oh, they've gone route.
Oh
they've got all the marbles.
Is this the first Route 66 of the entire tournament as well? It really could be. I mean, at least
what do people play system. Here?
What did we play on Route? I can't even remember what we played on Route 66. What is it? It feels like it'd be a really awful map for the Ram mirror, because it'd be so defense favored with those high grounds and stuff. Like, how do you really vie for those? Like, especially if you think on first point attack, if everyone's standing on gas with their like Sojourn and all of this, and the Ram's just on the corner, what's the counterplay? How do you actually maneuver
I think it's just a Sigma map, to be honest.
Like, you think it's a Sigma map?
Oh. Yeah, I think like it's always been a pretty solid Sigma map, and Sigma v Ram on this map, like there's so much like long space and high grounds. I feel like it's really hard to close the gap as Ram, because you can stand on top of gas and whatnot, and it's just it seems really awkward.
I think if we go back to the start of that Colosseum as well, where they did play the Sigma, it really didn't feel awful for Timeless at all. Obviously, when we miss the Flux, it feels a little bit awful, but there's very few ultimates in the game you can completely miss and it feel good. So
I think it will feel awful if Kaluj mirrors, because I think Kaluj has a significantly stronger Sigma than Hawk.
It feels like a very long time since I've really seen Hawk play Sigma. I mean, maybe it's also true it's been a very long time since I've seen Hawk play regularly at all. But only needs occasional cough stages, a bit on Samoa and all these things. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right. Kaluge is favoured right now. That maybe seems obvious. But yeah. I don't know if Kaluge will, or they'll just be happy to take the Ram Mirror. Because we've essentially seen them play that comp on every map, except for Dorado.
All right. It's looking like they're actually about to start the game.
It all comes down to this. The lights are on full whack. Nowhere left to hide. A Route 66 decider.
The lights are so comically bright right now. American Tornado players are squinting at their monitors because they can't see a goddamn thing. This could be the first time ever that American Tornado player wins a match where the stakes are high.
All right, map loading. Primis Tornado starting on defense, so they'll have to show their hand first, at least to us.
All right, 20 seconds and we will know the truth. Or at least one team will bait us about their comp and the other team will tell us the truth.
I feel like
we're going to see Colin on the SIG.
Good luck, have fun, dropped by GB. Thanks, GB.
Do you think if Kaluge plays SIG, they can play Doom and Genji?
I think
is that just total fucking nonsense?
If I want to
they're just going to mirror. They're just mirroring. Fuck it. All this thinking about what they could do and they're just mirroring.
I was going to say, if I want to dive, and I want to Doom dive, I actually would rather they play Sigma and Ram, I think, for the most part. And there's a lot more outplay, and he's just a bit squishier to fight and everything than what Ram is. I was thinking like Doom into Ram matches up, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be... It feels like it'd be okay for the Doom, but not great either.
Yeah, I was thinking if Hawk's attacking, he sees a Sigma, maybe he goes Doom, because it's like, I can punch the hands and that sort of thing. But I think Doom might be in a bit of a weak spot right now. Like his ult got like buffed, but actually nerfed because you need to do like 2 more ping pong cycles to get the ult out. So you basically just like lose to ults beforehand. So I think that it was like a net nerf to Doom. But who cares about Doom and Sigma? Because we're just seeing the same mirror we've seen all match long. Seeker dead.
Not the greatest start, but good news is he spawns right here, so we'll be back in no time. And it is a pretty aggressive spawn camp actually coming out of Primus Tornado here. Quite happy to play in this train aggressively, stuff them in spawn, and get as much time off the clock as they possibly can.
Really just trying to bleed the clock here because there's not a lot else that can be done. The cart getting away from them there, it's a little bit weird. I think Kaluge, he's actually supposed to hold the cart on the corner if you're going to do this close hold, because now their next fight position is going to be a little strange maybe, but we'll see how it goes. Hydron shifting up onto the high ground, going for the rail, he misses that. Sam gets his ice block force down over on the coast, and now it is looking like Tornado are on the back foot just a little bit. RuPaul has a really nice strong position. OG stuck out in the middle of nowhere, taken down by Seeker's rail, but if it wasn't Seeker's rail, it would have been one of many other things because OG was so out of position. The trade onto Sugar Free, pretty inconsequential, because now the cart is just going to keep on rolling, and Sugar Free is going to be back in action, ready to spam the spawn by the time the cart gets around the corner.
It really all unraveled just from letting the cart slip that little bit, because it meant Kaluge had to trade his position, which then meant Sam and OG's position didn't make as much sense, and then it all just sort of spirals from there. Slightly faster Ram up for Kaluge, but slightly faster window for RuPaul, and he might, I don't know if he'll get in time to pop it on his high ground here, might just have to let him out a bit, and it's a decent wall on Hawk, but he can get away.
Well, Hydron swinging wide, but RuPaul is marking that, getting decent value. Nice window up here on the high ground to take all of the high ground control. Hawk actually just chasing down OG with no help whatsoever from the window, just killing him. Annihilation invested from Kaluge, though. Is he going to get anything for this? Sugar Free actually dips into the mega health pack, manages to preserve his ice block. So this is looking quite good for Timeless now as the cart continues to roll forward. 4 versus 5 situation. Ultraviolet throws down the window, but Sugar Free, now here's a blizzard for cart, and Sam's got no ice block and is stuck in a snare. Surely you throw down this blizzard sometime soon, Lenny. Ah, jeez, Lenny, I don't know what's wrong with you sometimes, man. Now you're going in for the push. You freeze up Sam. Counter Blizzard comes out from Sam, actually, but Hawk manages to dodge it. Oh, wow. Vega actually jumping into that Blizzard to get the beat drop off. Get down, Mr. President. And now Hawk pops the Annihilation. He's running it in. I'm not entirely sure who's going to take this one over though, because we've got Hydron up on the high ground popping the overclock. Hawk kind of is forced to block over and over and over again, and there's so much healing still coming out. This neutral is dead even. Seeker, though, he has the overclock. Beat drop comes down from OG much later, but Seeker up on the high ground fighting Hydron. Hydron half health, sliding out into the open, and it looks like Seeker is going to be be getting the better of him in this duel. Little attack dog Vega and RuPaul coming to finish him off. And now, Kalush, he almost has another annihilation. That's 2 annihilations in the space of a minute. And here it is. He actually has the second one. He pops it. He is pushing in. But will he get anything for it? A window versus an annihilation. We know how this usually tends to go. Annihilation is already over now. Second shift on board. Here it comes. Out he goes again. Kalush pushing. Nobody can break this neutral. When will this fight end?
1 minute left on the clock. Ults have all been spent. We're just in a straight-up neutral now. They're trying to clear high ground with RuPaul. It's just a slow fight. But there's a real stalemate here. Slow to get rail here for both teams. Seeker's only on 70%. They're just trying to force it in. No doing yet. And we're just going to have to wait for this mail from Sugar Free.
Seems are really struggling to just clear the high ground, but now finally the Blizzard is good, takes down Ultraviolet Hawk, running into the backline, and as soon as Ultraviolet falls, that is the death knell for American Tornado. There's no way they can sustain without the Baptiste, but that whole fight, it just went on forever and ever and ever, because nobody was ever able to take down Ultraviolet. He was just standing on that high ground constantly. Seeker would peek up and go for a rail shot, but he was never closing out on the kill. Vega, Sugar Free never closing that gap, always just stuck in the neutral with Kalush. Kalush did so much damage playing on that corner.
Got both ults, stalled it out for so long. Eventually it was the mail from Sugar Free and punishing, and it was able to break them through. But now Sugar Free with the wide swing beat in response from OG. Be happy for that trade. Now beat advantage for Vega, and he's going to pop it back. They want to go. I don't know exactly what they can go on, though. They forced the ice block on Sam, but Sam has Blizzard. Careful, guys. He's gonna walk
It's looking
back.
like a pretty typical Vega beat right now, just something really suspect, not getting a whole lot of value there. Hawk has the Annihilation to answer back, but it does look like Kaluj is getting massive damage in, and there's no way to stop this Annihilation from rolling, so it does look like Kaluj and Ultraviolet are just going to go running through the side of Timeless. Really, another one of these beats from Vega, where it's like, it's a bit monkey see, monkey do, you know? He sees the queue, he thinks, oh, they beat it, so I'm going to beat second. But what are you actually beating for? There's nothing to fight.
When there's more ultimates as well, it's actually really hard just to beat push if they still have mail or annihilation. You can really only beat push if you have beat and they don't have any of the other brawl outs. Maybe you can do it versus Sojourn and Window, right? But everything else, you still have to do more steps to the plan. So end up getting no value out of that beat. Primis Tornado now have a pretty comfortable hold on this high ground. Hydron even with the overclock if they need it, but it's Window they start with.
Oh, very aggressive window, but Hydron gets the better of Seeker through the little sliver of the window. Sam also going for the Blizzard there, catches everybody up. RuPaul actually invested his window too, so that's not a terrible fight at all for Primus Tornado. 2 ults for 1. Maybe the ult swing for the final fight will be a little bit, even, or, perhaps slightly advantaged for Timeless, but the positional advantage is massive here. Really, the only way I can see this neutral being broken is if Seeker and Vega are able to make something happen up on this high ground. Seeker getting up onto the high ground, getting a rail. That's what we need to see right now.
It's so difficult from this position, though, and even though we have mail advantage now, how do you even use this mail in a meaningful way? They're just going to have to edge cart forward at the beginning, trying to craft way in. You can see Hydron just on this high ground. Such a dominant position. Seeker's rail is going to fade, and Hydron pops it here. He wants to shut him down. Seeker has to run.
Oh, wow, that Blizzard from Sugar Free doesn't catch anything at all except for Sugar Free himself. And now we can really see the struggle for Timeless. They have no idea how to take this high ground. They keep just forcing carts sitting underneath, trying to work the side angles, but it's not happening. Hawk can't find any value sitting underneath. He needs to take top.
A Genji swap. I actually don't hate it. In this way, the Lucio Genji can attack top with Seeker in a much more direct way. We've seen him win on scuffed versions of a rank comp before. We'll see what Sugar Free can get done as he tries to take the high ground away from Primus Tornado.
Oh, nice left click early on there. He is applying a lot of pressure, but it looks like he's going to commit quite soon. OG in dire straits right now. So low, but Vega pops the beat first. OG gets the second beat. Ultraviolet actually has not received the beat. Hawk running it in with the Annihilation, but Sugar Free taken down. Hawk does manage to catch Ultraviolet, so it is a 4 versus 4 right now. But Kalush has his own Annihilation rolling on card, and the touch must continue. Seeker pops the overclock over in the distance, but still, his team is down. Blizzard on the card from Sam. It catches everybody. It is an absolute wax museum, and it is looking like the point is going to be held 1 second.
It was so close, but so far there from Seeker. He hit the rail onto everyone, but if he just hit a headshot, it was so close to getting a 4K almost, but couldn't quite find the headshots of a crucial moment. And it really did just feel like Timeless didn't have a good solution for this Route 66. And in the same way we talk about King's Row first, there's just certain points on hybrid and escort and these payload-centric maps, but you just need a good plan to solve it, because inherently they're very difficult points to push.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, I don't want to say inexperience, because there's absolutely no inexperience on the side of Timeless.
It's lack of time
you
on
can
the
see
map.
the weakness. You can see the weaknesses in their approach to the matchup here, as they just keep bashing their heads against the wall, going low ground, forcing cart, and just hoping for a pick. But these positions, they're not gonna work. This is for all the marbles, says Juvie. Resident Caniac, he must be watching the broadcast, probably while eating fried chicken. But you know, that's a story for another day. You can see though, these guys, they just keep going low ground, keep sitting on the cart, and there's just no way through that. You know, they really do. They need their solution, and they clearly don't have one.
No, and now they find themselves with, it's not the greatest attack, but Route 66, it is a difficult point. We saw it, you know, it was only one fight away from a full hold actually from Primis Tornado. So we'll see what solution Primis Tornado have that maybe Timeless didn't. There will be initial grapple from, or initial shot from Hydra. Nothing doing though. It's a spawn hold again, very similar position.
Yeah, now things are looking a little bit dire for Timeless now. Really, they've got their backs to the walls, but let's see if they can make anything happen at all. Just a poke fight, but Seeker the first to go down, and already this spawn hold in big trouble. Unless someone feeds egregiously right now, this spawn hold is going to shatter in the next couple of seconds. Sugar Free goes down as well. Hydron pole position up on the high ground, and nobody's here to stop him.
We'll clean it all up, get the cart rolling. Do get to be ahead of some of those ultimates, but not actually really close enough to use any of those ultimates by the time the recontest comes in. Which is actually quite a nice thing for Timers. Much easier to get through this choke when there is no window or overclock or anything like that in play. So should be able to retake top for free, and then we'll just get another neutral, and maybe it'll be a 3.5 minute neutral again.
Well, you know, if we're lucky from a spectator POV, make it nice and close, we get a nice 3-minute long neutral. But, you know, we can see Ultraviolet a little bit ahead on this window timing right now. A fast retake of the high ground, though. That's not a bad thing at all for Timeless. They do have basically equalized on the ult economy now. And it's looking like Ultraviolet, he's thinking of a way, how can I use my window? Meanwhile, Rupal up on the high ground, he's probably thinking the exact same thing. Looking for his best angle. The cart is rolling away, though. Window does come down. Vega so low. Vega being chased, but he actually survives. No, he does not. Rupal now throwing down the window, but it is a little bit late. Hawk actually does have the Annihilation right now. Perhaps he will push inside, chase the Mei, chase the Baptiste. Perhaps he will just die. He's taken the bait into a Blizzard. And honestly, Hydron goes down, but it is looking like there is a very real chance that this could be the end of the first point for Timeless. Seeker's up on the high ground. Sugar Free has no Icebox. Vega catches OG. Sugar Free now has the Blizzard. He throws it down on cart. The Annihilation actually pushing up to the high ground, but he still gets frozen. Kaluj goes down. Massive Blizzard coming out from Sugar Free, and he catches the kill onto Sam as well. What an insane clutch from Sugar Free here to keep them alive in the series.
They're going to dive in, just have to die on point now, UV. Hydron will get out, but unbelievably good Blizzard. We had a lot of problems with Sugar Free's May at the start of the day, really, for him getting caught in 4th slot. But that play is worth its weight in gold. 1 minute 40 seconds. Route 66 attack. This is not easy. This is not easy. Overclocked and beats for both teams, and it might just take a hero Sojourn moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is definitely going to be a tale of two Sojins and a tale of two very, very mediocre ulting Lucios. But, you know, we'll see who actually gets the better end of it. You can also see Ultraviolet, he's a lot closer to this window, so keep your eye out for the signature, you know, window into rail combination. That's often been catching out both Vega and OG, so really could be anyone's game right now. No ultimates invested. Seeker throws down the overclock. Beat comes out for OG, which means Vega is going to be able to get the second beat. He does not Ajax it, so the second beat in the hands of Timeless. Again, Hydron on the high ground with this rail. It's so close, so much pressure, but the window comes up for Ultraviolet. A big snare in the corner. RuPaul gets the window down, and Seeker gets the trade, though. So it is looking like Timeless are ahead in this fight, but we've seen so many 4v5s on this corner, just inconclusive, long fights. A big kite out now from American Tornado. They're playing for the neutral, for the 5 vs 5, but look at the ults. Sugar Free is ahead. Hawk is ahead. This could very well be the last fight of the entire series right now.
Difference in Seeker holding the rail from the enemy Sojourn and Hydron just shooting it early. Now it's Mayo advantage for Sugar Free. Just one good Mayo and we win. We win flash shots. Just one good Mayo and we win it.
Oh, jeez. Do you really think that Sugar Free is going to wait 10 seconds before using it, or do you think he's just going to blindly throw it on the objective the second he has the opportunity? Hydron going for the side flank, scared of a C9 now. Immediately, Sugar Free has to run back. Sam is caught in the blizzard, as is Kaluge. It's going to have to be an insane lamp inside to keep everyone alive, but it's an absolute fucking wax museum, and nobody can beat Hawk in North America, because that's the best tank in all of NA, baby. Eat shit, AT. Fucking awesome.
What a hold. What a hold. Beautiful blizzards. Every blizzard was about as big value as you could possibly get for that one. Sugar Free comes out on top. Timeless come out on top. A 7-map series, and Primis Tornado failed to convert what looked in many ways, especially all the struggles Timeless had in upper bracket. They nearly lost that new Queen Street. Then they come all the way back. They take down the Giants of Primis Tornado, and they put themselves in an incredible position to take first place in this tournament.
Oh, yeah, that was actually quite a fantastic little conclusion of the series, and you can see the lobby has emptied out immediately. They were so confident that they had that, but just so much discipline. Seeker and RuPaul in these final moments, clinging onto the rail, timing up their windows, and that's all it takes, really. And then Sugar Free, 2 superstar blizzards to finish out the series.
Really, really good stuff. There was so many times across the entire day where it just felt like Timeless didn't have the right answer or didn't have a plan, or were just getting maybe out macroed in a lot of situations. And to come back, all the clutches they had to win to do that, 2 perfect blizzards, and in a really nice way, actually, the way they won these last fights just felt like better macro. That kill that Seeker got in the fight before the last one, all it was is Hydron just fired off his rail before the window, so they're able to de-peek the window. Seeker saves it, so this is why I think we can always see a team is still locked in and still calling properly and everything's working, is you still do your combos, even when you're in map 7 and you're 3 minutes deep in the hold and it's a massive dogfight, and you still hold that rail for the window, and then it pays dividends here.
Yeah, no, got to be happy with that. And now my voice is so violently blown out that, I think I'm just gonna put the singular viewer that I have apparently watching on this stream into uncoachable and call it a day.
Yeah, I think that'll do us. Thank you for your company. Good games. Well, good American games. Oh, it's a 2-viewer raid, actually. A 2-viewer self-promoting raid.
It's not over.
You want me to?
Yeah,
We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up. Thank you to everyone.
It can happen.
Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to all the guests who came and joined me while Unter was skipping work. I hope you enjoyed the cast. We'll put it on YouTube if you missed the start of the day, you missed the European games or anything. We'll put it all on YouTube and it'll be on there. Audio issues and all at the start, but I think we ironed it out for the most part, and hopefully we put on a decent show, eh?
Yeah, it wasn't total dog shit. Hopefully, like at least 5 people enjoyed it, and maybe we get Twitch partner or affiliate from this. So that's good. Just make sure the stream runs to the end and we're all good, because that was a fucking fantastic conclusion.
Yep.
All right.
See you guys.
See ya.
To Primis Tornado.